Listen to the Snyder-Collin Podcast, brought to you by FPP Broadcasting. Our sponsorship this week is going to be Hanes, their wedgie-resistant underwear. Really got to shout out them. Real clutch invention that they had there. I don't know what materials they use, but I'm not sponsored by them in any way. I just had to shout them out.
There you go.
Yep, there you go. That's it. That's all it is.
President. Oh, man. Yeah. As you can see what I'm on today, just like we on every other day, go get it. Get to the bag music, Cool Kid Trap music type shit, I'm a rare individual, cut off your hand if it's killing you. You gotta stand on your tippy don't take. I got cool like I'm Pootie. She give me tame, then I sleep on her booty. Bought me a house, turn that bitch to a cutie. I'm flying, I elevate. I got problems, an open case. My little bro got his first baby on the way. In the drop, so you know what we on.
Welcome everyone to episode 19 of the Snyder-Collin Podcast. I am your host, Colin Goody, and I am here with my lovely co-host, Jacob Snyder.
Oh, hello.
It's
me.
And we also have a very, very special, possibly temporary guest. So enjoy the time while he's going to be here, because he's not going to be here on the entire podcast, but he's here for now, and that is Garren Ferguson, right?
Yeah. You guys, I just got other shit going on.
Yeah.
I have better stuff going on. You guys should.
It's understandable.
If you guys finish this entire podcast, you might want to reevaluate your lives.
Fair.
Will do.
Fair.
For sure.
Garren has been on the podcast before.
He has. He was sort of like an extra, if you will. You know what I mean?
I showed up in the middle.
Yeah, it was pretty cool because at first you were on the phone call, and then you were like, "Yeah, you want to hang out," and then you just showed up. So it kind of came full circle.
Would you like me to adjust your microphone so you can sit back and you can just stretch it? You can pull it out.
Very new to the pod.
Yeah, he just
It's an extending arm mic.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, wow. All right.
I'm all right. You see the letters on the mic too,
Yes.
Yeah, just talking to those because that's the front.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very intuitive.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that. I'm gonna actually adjust mine now. Wow, look
it's
at that.
Very obtrusive. Just.
Yeah, it's kind of like a big black dingus in your face.
I know what those look like, but not from this close.
You don't have to go there. It's fine.
We listened to just a tiny little bit of episode 16 podcast because Garren was very curious to listen about it. And we click halfway through, and it's just talking about our boss calling someone a gaylord fucker.
And that's what it's like working at where we worked at.
Yeah.
Or wherever Garren worked at, Goodwill. It was Goodwill.
Yeah.
We can say that now that you're fired.
Yeah. I got fired.
Yeah.
Do you have any dirt?
Happened.
Do you have any dirt on Goodwill?
It's honestly one of the worst places you can donate your stuff. Most stuff, if it doesn't get thrown away, it gets ruined.
Okay.
How does it get ruined?
It's I would say a good 40% of the stuff donated there, it doesn't actually get repurposed and re-given back to people.
Oh, wow.
Most people do just donate trash that's unusable. So I'll give that a pass, but there's definitely usable electronics that people just throw and break once we get them. And it's really sad.
That is sad. That's really unfortunate to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone thinks Goodwill is this great.
Everybody that I know that works there
society.
stopped donating there once they work there because they realize everything just gets mishandled and it's really just not. Their system is just bad.
That's unfortunate.
It's the Salvation Army you want to donate to.
Local thrift stores, to be honest with you.
Oh, really? Not
you want to find some locally owned thrift store that has not an extremely rich CEO that's in it for money only.
Yeah.
Damn.
What's that? It's a Harvest or something thrift store. It's a First Harvest, something like that.
Yeah,
yeah. It's
they have one in
thrift store
Midtown too.
Yeah. There's one in Killarn as well that I've frequented. It's actually a very nice thrift store. It has good solid furniture, well treated.
The one I go to every now and then is Aaron's Attic, which is over by my house. It's pretty big, and I've gotten some decent furniture there, including a nice shelf that holds all my movies.
Hey!
Yeah.
All your blues.
Yeah. Dude, getting nice shelves is a pain in the ass.
It really
getting
is.
Perfect shelves, especially if you're a collector like me who owns tons of movies, video games, and books. It's difficult.
Yeah.
Most people, shelves, they just want to display a few things, but display it nicely, it's a pain in the ass.
I don't want to just totally shit on Goodwill. They did do some good stuff. They do provide housing for low income and disabled. They paid for 2 of my college classes a semester.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they had some good benefits for sure. I was a manager there whenever I got I rose somewhat, so it's not total shit. It was a decent place to work around some decent people. It's just, I wouldn't say the best place to donate your stuff if you want it to be reused.
Interesting. Like if you actually have stuff and you're like, you know what, like I could sell this, but I'm just gonna donate it. And like
clothes
nice,
definitely,
yeah.
that's a good idea, but I wouldn't donate electronics. Anything sort of like breakable.
Okay.
Breakable things tend to get broken. They're not very careful, and that is largely due to just the amount of donations we get. You have to hurry, you know, stuff just gets tossed. And
is it all just like electronics that people don't really even want, like old computers, which I guess some people want. They want to like break it down and stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely old computers. Mainly the things that I always saw of interest were like, we get subwoofers and like car radios and speakers and like iPod and iPhone docks and stuff that were pretty current and worked just fine. I think just the side of town, people are just like, I got a new one, you know?
Yeah.
Just get rid of it.
It's on a very suburban side of town, surrounded by, you know, tens of thousands of people.
Yeah, and they're constantly just getting new shit, so
yeah,
they get rid of their current. That's what happens, I guess.
So, they can definitely find some great stuff at Goodwill if you do some hunting.
I used to find some dope-ass video games at Goodwill.
Yeah.
But then I guess they stopped, not like taking them, but just, I don't know. I remember finding some really cool old video games.
Yeah, for some reason we don't take like ping pong tables or pool tables, like the things that you would for sure see get sold.
Oh yeah,
for
definitely.
some reason they wouldn't.
People love buying those used,
especially
too.
for cheap. Yeah, we wouldn't take them for whatever reason.
That's crazy to me that you could like Goodwill like denies you.
They will tell you no, like we can't take that.
That's crazy unless you just come at night.
You just leave it there.
Yeah. No, like then they'll just throw it out because that's why they don't want to take it. Because if nobody buys it, we have to like pay a certain amount of money to have that stuff removed. Like mattresses, we don't take mattresses obviously because it's a little gross, and because for us to get rid of it, it's like $10. So like if everybody's donating mattresses, it's gonna add up as a cost, I guess.
Yeah, that's understandable. I kind of get that because like the whole bed bug thing and like disinfecting it's probably like a serious pain in the ass. So like you might as well just get rid of it.
Yeah,
people who have fucked on the said mattress, been killed on mattress.
Oh yeah, there have definitely been cum-stained couches.
Oh god,
definitely
some casting couches.
Oh man.
Cum-stained couches. Were they like, all right, Garren, clean the cum off of all the furniture?
Oh my god.
Is that a role, the cum cleaner?
That sounds like a punk band.
Cum cleaner?
Cum-stained couches.
That is a great band name.
Yeah, it is.
Casting couches.
That's hilarious.
Cum-stained couches.
The casting couches is almost a little too mainstream. Cum-stained couches is just so vulgar.
But it's catchy.
Yeah, it is catchy.
It is.
You could listen to music.
That would never be anywhere near mainstream, but like
no, maybe in like an underground punk scene,
SoundCloud type thing.
Play at a little dingy bar. A bunch of like punk people are like breaking beer bottles on their face, like cum-stained couches. I
think Lil Pump would be a part of a group called cum-stained couches.
Lil Pump, is he the guy with like the rainbow hair?
Yeah.
Calling you to brush up on some pop culture.
Clearly, what does he just go like, Lil Pump, 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 Lil Pump, pump, pump.
Yeah, it's a very throbbing beat that he does. It pumps, if you will.
Dude, there's so many people in the rap game. It's crazy.
It's a big game.
Yeah, like this guy, Lil Pump, like
it's a popular game.
I mean, he's popular right now, but like 6 months from now, is he gonna blow up even more?
Considering him and Yachty are about to like go on tour, they're about to drop a collab album and go on tour the first of the year. I don't know. You can go anywhere.
Given that evidence, who knows? Who's to say? To say?
Well, I remember like earlier this year, my friend Casey, we were driving around. He was like, "Yeah, dude, you gotta listen to this guy." Like, he played him, and he was like, "Yeah, his name's XXX Tentaxion." And I was like, "No, I've never heard of him." And he's like, "Yeah, dude, he's crazy. He's like this Naruto-looking motherfucker, and like he goes hard."
I have mixed feelings about him. Like his last album was very like aware and like it was honestly really good. I liked it. But the dude's a little bit of a nut job. He definitely has some severe mental illness.
Yeah, and he definitely beats women, which isn't cool.
That is not cool at all.
Yeah.
I think there's a video of him beating a woman on the internet.
You know what? No one's blowing up about that, though, as far as
exactly.
Because it's kind of... Isn't that funny?
It's only prominent people that anybody cares about getting busted for that.
Yeah, it's like Louis C.K., the guy who tells a joke about fingering a rat in a subway. and it turns out that guy's a sexual predator.
Yeah,
no
what the
way.
hell? That's disappointing.
Yeah,
because
but the guy that like beats a woman on camera, everybody's like, well, he's a rapper. Like, what? That's so weird. And like, that's
well, he's a rapper.
Yeah,
they're like we expect that type of behavior.
Might actually be because he's black. It might be like a reverse racism thing. Like, we'll give him the pass.
Oh man, that is so deep. That is so dark for this pod. Oh man,
we should bring up. I believe we brought up before, but Garren is a African American male.
He is.
So
he's also the worst person we've ever met in our lives.
Yes, he is
by far.
I'm proud to hold that title.
He's so unapologetic about it, and it's great, and we love him for that.
Garren has this like facetious sense of humor, and I love it. We bring out the worst in each other.
But he's also a very honest lad.
Yeah.
You know, I showed Garren Death Grips today.
Oh, really?
It's horrendous.
Yeah, Garren. I think that's kind of how you got to start out with it. You got to just be like, "This is horrendous," but I'll keep listening because I like listening to the sound of jars dropping on the ground. And
what song was it?
I showed him Get Got. Obviously,
True.
I showed him
Get Got. That was the name.
Get lovers to my.
I fucking love Death Grips. I feel like it's not really more for like mainstream hip hop fans, but people who like metal type music,
but are trying to get into hip hop.
Yeah,
like it's kind of a nice
and like industrial.
segue,
I didn't recognize
technology
hip hop characteristic about it. It was just some weirdness.
It's pretty much like hip hop punk, is what I explained it as.
Yeah,
I guess
because like the beats are hip hop esque.
I guess they are kind of rapping, sort of.
They do a lot of sampling,
screamo rapping. Yeah.
A lot of their stuff is sampled, which it goes back to classic hip hop.
I told Garren that like they just like record random noises, don't they? And like they just like kind of incorporate that in the music.
Yeah, one of their songs they sample just the sound of what are the sisters' names that do tennis? Venus and Serena. Yeah, they just sample one of them like serving a ball, and she makes like a grunt noise. Oh, whoops! She like
kinda
grunts,
like that.
and they distort it and they use it as like a breakdown, so it sounds like unrecognizable.
Pretty creative, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
I was just telling Jacob this earlier, how I thought it was really cool how like hip hop has taken the place of rock, and like
it
all those off branches of rock, like punk rock and like heavy metal and stuff. You're seeing that with hip hop. Like you're seeing like sort of like punk hip hop, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, some like even Lil Pump, he's kind of like a punk rocker, but for hip hop,
he's got that crazy look with like the hair and stuff like that.
And I had never really seen it like that until you explained that, and like I totally see that now.
Yeah,
that's really
dude,
cool.
that's what all quote unquote kids are listening to. They're not listening to like the Foo Fighters' latest album.
Yeah,
no. I mean, not that like rock's dead. There's still lots of like people who are doing lots of good stuff, but mainstream like radio rock, that shit is dead as a doornail.
Yeah,
it's so boring.
I mean,
generic.
like Beatles, Zeppelin, they're gonna live in infamy.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're gonna be timeless. But hip hop is sort of like taking that. Maybe Jay-Z now, he's the new timeless. 30 years from now, our kids are gonna like, yeah, you listen to Jay-Z, that was from my time. That type of stuff.
That is cool to think about, like who's gonna stick around, like in infamy. Like, I'd like to think that somebody like J. Cole is gonna go down as like one of the greatest to do it. I think so.
Yeah.
Kendrick for sure.
Kendrick, yeah. He's just more pop, I guess. J. Cole would be like...
J. Cole, get... Because lyricism is kind of on its way out, like...
Definitely.
I would say, and like, everything ebbs and flows in such a way that like, eventually lyricism will return. And we're looking back at like, lyricists like Tupac and Biggie right now.
They're already timeless.
Exactly.
For the genre.
Exactly, but it's also a lot of times past. It's been like
20 years.
Yeah, that's like a
if I play that in the car with my dad's like, "What do you know about this? This is from when I was 20 or something." And I'm like, "Wow, it's really taken the place of how like my grandparents view rock and roll. That's how like we're viewing hip hop."
Yeah, and like now you have someone like J. Cole who I think is probably one of the best storytellers, and like Kendrick as well. Kendrick's a great storyteller, like as far as it goes. But lyricism isn't really the in right now. But like we're gonna go back, and time's gonna pass, and that music is gonna be picked up on later when that's a more focused on thing. And I think that it'll get the attention it really deserves then. Not that J. Cole doesn't get the attention he deserves, or Kendrick Lamar at all, but I think that they will go down as some of the greats just because like of the work they're doing now and how it's appreciated, but it's not as appreciated as it should be necessarily. You know what I mean? If you really like lyricism.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even like... I like hip-hop a lot, but it's not my, like, meat and potato music. I'm more of, like, a band guy. But, I certainly appreciate I think MF Doom is gonna go down as like one of the most creative rappers like ever.
I haven't even heard of him.
He's very underground. I recommend it. Listen to that album Mad Villain.
Yes,
it's like
that's a great cover too.
It is. It's one of my favorite hip hop albums, and I think a lot of people who are big fans of hip hop would usually like it.
Have you all heard that song "Walk on Water" by Eminem? That new one, Eminem and Beyonce.
I haven't heard any of Eminem's new stuff.
It's really like he's basically like acknowledging that he's on his way out, and like there's a new like mumble rap era coming.
Mumble rap.
He's kind of like
that's the thing. Now,
he's like sad about it. He's like, I don't know how to do that. He's not, that's not his thing. He's a lyrical guy, and like that's how he makes music. That's how he is as a person. He chose to like get really deep in lyrics. But I don't hate mumble rap. I actually like think it's beneficial. I think people like, Young Thug, for example, they've sort of like transcended words. Like they can convey their emotions without using words. And I think that's cool in itself. Like he uses such, I guess, like, language that he would use with like his family from Atlanta, like such, I don't know, what's the word?
Slang.
Yeah, like such slang that like you don't really understand what he's saying unless you're from that area. So like it's like you're from Atlanta if you can understand what he's saying, but like I still vibe with his music. I don't have to know what he's saying.
I'm not
feel his music gives off.
I'm not crazy about the mumble style, but I guess there is kind of like an attitude.
Vernacular. That was the word.
Vernacular.
Yeah.
Vernacular.
That's what I was thinking of too. I was thinking of lexicon, which is kind of But
there's definitely like this type of like attitude like towards it. Just like.
Yeah. I mean,
devil may care, as I love to say.
I think that I don't think that mumble rap's a bad thing. I also don't think that just because it's not really my thing, I have to hate it. Like I don't hate it at all. Yeah. But like everybody seems to either feel one way or another about it, and like I don't feel any particular way about it. It's not something I would listen to, but also like I don't listen to many things.
Yeah,
I don't just go. I don't
have to listen to it just because I don't particularly care for it.
Yeah, and like I wasn't really on the trap train, if you will, like originally, because I sort of do value lyricism a little bit more, and even now I do. Like, and trap and lyricism aren't necessarily going hand in hand. It's a different way of conveying emotion, and like now I'm kind of, I'll listen to some Travis Scott, I'll listen to some Future, I'll have a good time with it. Like it's not everything needs to be taken so seriously, and I think
with most music, there's a time and place for it.
Yeah,
I don't feel like there's a whole lot of songs out there that I just don't like. It's like I don't like it in the setting. Like EDM, for example. Like I'm not gonna sit in my bed and put in headphones and listen to EDM. But if I'm at like a concert, like I'll get hyped to some EDM.
If it's playing in like a large venue, or
like if I'm at an EDM concert or venue or something, like that's hype as shit. I would definitely be down for it then.
All right, I'm extremely white, as both of you know.
Yes, I'm aware.
Someone tell me what trap music is, because I'm confused. Is it the beats? Is it literally just rap about trapping?
So, from my understanding, it's any music that came out of Atlanta from a certain time period. Because, like, Atlanta is where...
All right.
So, like, a trap would be, like, the house that you sell drugs out of or whatever, just, like, a beat-up house. And, like, guys living in there, how they talk, their environment of, like, being drug dealers and like possibly having to shoot people, living in horrible living conditions, like that's just all reflected through that. It's honestly like a subgenre of hip hop. Trap music is very like I think it's 21 Savage, maybe 2 Chainz. He said in like an interview he doesn't believe you can make trap music unless you're from Atlanta. Like you have to have lived that life of like living in Atlanta and being in a trap and stuff to convey that message.
And like that's not really the definition that like I would say it is, because it's kind of taken on a different meaning. That's where it's originated from, for sure. Yeah, and I would say now like it's just kind of it's sort of got a certain beat to it. There's a lot of high tats, rapid high tats.
See, that's what I was thinking. It was. So it's like fast, like beats.
There are a lot of flutes now. That is a common thing. I think that's just kind of like a couple songs use flutes, and they were like flute samples are great now. Which it really is an interesting.
The flute flows basically,
it
so
does.
I guess you can rap over it pretty easily. Or
Future's Mask Off uses. I think Gold Link uses it in their song Crew. It's just it's like a weird feature that's just growing in popularity. If you listen in a lot of like trap music, you'll hear a little flute in the background.
Yeah.
One artist I'll drop because you brought up Atlanta, and that is Run the Jewels.
Ooh.
Big fan of them.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of Run the Jewels, Garren?
I haven't.
Run the Jewels.
They're a duo featuring Killer Mike, who's been in the game for like
I've heard of Killer Mike.
Yeah, it's him. And
Killer Mike and LP, yeah.
Yeah, they've been... LP's like a producer.
Yeah,
I think
he
he's
makes the
worked with,
beats,
like-
but he also raps over it too.
I don't know exactly who he's worked with, but like Nas, maybe? He's from like Brooklyn or something.
I don't know the ins and outs of Run the Jewels. I've listened to all 3 of their albums, and they're all good. They're all really fucking
Run
good.
the Jewels 2 is awesome.
Check them out for sure.
They're cool. It's more like, I don't know, it gets you like pumped up. It kind of has like
It does.
violent type aesthetic to it.
It's
a
like
little
every
similar to Death Grips. Like if you like Run the Jewels, you might like Death Grips.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think that's somewhat of a fair comparison. Kind of alternative rap,
Yeah.
I guess.
I would say that every song on every one of Run the Jewels albums is considered a banger.
Yeah.
To where, like, you know, it's got a very high very high BPM. You know, like there's a lot of beats. They're rapping rapidly, not necessarily like fast rapping or like, you know, incomprehensible. They're just
It sounds like they're
they're
about to
going
be-
in.
Yeah.
Like,
That sounds similar to like Kanye's graduation album, just because Kanye's intent for that album was to make an album full of anthems. Like just
Yeah.
everything is going to be a club banger, you know, something that you're just going to vibe to. That was
Yeah.
his goal, making it.
Run the Jewels sounds like they're just about
Sounds
to like
similar to that.
beat the shit out of you.
Yeah,
like
it
Killer Mike
sounds-
has like a gun out or something. He's like telling you like what's
Yeah.
going down.
So it's like real gangster and like
it's
Yeah.
very it's
Kill-
just aggressive.
aggressive.
Yeah, like it's
but in a
It's-
intellectual type of way, not in an immature like XXX type of way.
very intellectual. They're every verse is incredibly complex. Like it's and I'm not being pretentious. Like it's just a really well made. All of their lyricists to the core, man. And Killer Mike is
I apologize, I hit the mic.
That's one thing I want to say about aggressive music, because
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of all sorts of like post-hardcore, death metal and stuff like that. And people are always like, how can you kind of listen to it? And it's like, I want to listen to aggressive music if it's like intelligent and it sounds like people are like composing like a song and stuff, and it has like tight playing.
yeah.
Where like some bands, it kind of comes off as like immature and like trendy. Is
Yeah.
that kind of how X might be?
I think he kinda
Is he
is.
actually deep? Because you know,
See,
he's
that's
thinking about-
that's where I'm kind of conflicted because
'cause
like
he raps
I don't
about,
think
like,
he's that intelligent to
suicide.
be. I mean, okay, so like I think that music in general is sort of like to convey emotion. I think like language falls short of that. And that's like where music comes in. And I feel like X with his last album 17 was like huge on mental health and like
Yeah.
depression and awareness. You know, I think he said in like an Instagram post or something, you know, why he got tattoos on his face and made his hair crazy was like be an example for kids that you can be as wild as you want and like just know you're not going through it alone. Like he has haters, he has people that, you know, send him death threats and he's just saying,
Yeah,
yeah, look at me, I'm successful, you know, air quotes, but people still want to hate on him. And I don't know if it's like a publicity stunt or like if he has a team of people and they're like, yeah, this is what you need to do. Because, you know, he is kind of like mentally kind of not there and does have a reputation of beating women. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how sound his message is.
I mean, artists in general, many of them probably aren't mentally there.
A lot of
there's
creative
there's a
people
lot
are.
of there's a lot of just damage. But I think that they handle it differently,
Hmm.
and I think X handles it in possibly one of the worst ways you can.
Agreed.
Like taking, you know, I think that J. Cole is damaged. I think that Childish Gambino is damaged. I think that all of them have mental things, but like if they didn't, they wouldn't be artists. Cause like,
Yeah,
you
the
know,
line between genius and, you know, insanity is real
very thin, yes.
And I think that certain hardship in life, I don't know, I sort of gravitate towards music that tends to be a little negative. I consider myself a pretty positive person, but I feel like there's more emotion. There's more like feeling whenever somebody gets real dark and like into their own thoughts
Yeah.
and like the bad times they have. I feel like there's more just passion there. There's more, it's coming from deeper than, you know, Yachty, for example. Like I love Lil Yachty. He can't hate on the guy. He's always happy, but
Yeah,
it
he's,
comes down
he's
to
very
it-
happy, very positive.
Yeah, he is, and like if that's the type of music you want to listen to, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Like more power to you. I'm not about it, but I'm not gonna listen to it. You know what I mean? Like, but if he makes a song that I really love, he doesn't necessarily like have to go dark or anything. I love Super Duper Kyle. I don't really
Definitely.
care for Lil Yachty, and like they make very similar music. It's
Mhm.
just slightly off in such a way where I'm not really a big fan of it. But like, you know, if Lil Yachty wanted to come on the show, fuck yeah, you know,
Oh my god,
he's on the show.
I'd be like, "Hi, Mr. Yachty."
Mr. Boat?
you want to give us a huge publicity stunt?
Please. But
have you ever heard of Danny Brown, Garren?
Mm-mm.
I know
boy.
Jacob isn't particularly a big fan, but I kind of like what he's got going on.
Who is he? What is he?
He's
Can you run down?
he's
like Chance if Chance was more like
if Chance
fucked up.
kept with the drugs.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He kind of has like a Bugs Bunny cartoon type sound, but
kind of does.
I kind of dig his stuff though.
When
From what I
someone-
listen, it comes on my Spotify, and I'm like, all right. I mean, yeah, his voice is kind of annoying, but I feel like that's kind of like part of it.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, he definitely like tries to. He tries to.
Do your impression.
Oh, I don't know if I can because it's so loud.
Ain't it funny how it happens? Ain't it?
You floused out the cognac?
Yeah, that's it.
That's just how it sounds. It's like, hey, Garren, what's up? What you doing?
I got 3
crazy.
blunts.
Yeah.
Fucking pussies like loafers. he said that. He described
That's
them.
what he sounds like. Yeah, and like it's very obnoxious and just I can't listen to it too much because if I do, I just have to skip the song.
You start turning into a cartoon.
Yeah, but he has a song with Childish Gambino. And it's like he does an impression of himself in the song. Like he just goes so Danny Brown in the song. He's like, I need to make sure that people know that I'm Danny Brown and that I am this ridiculous. And he just does. But yeah, that's pretty much it. One thing I was going to say about Run the Jewels, first off, Marvel seems to love Run the Jewels.
Yeah, they used them
really
in Black
love 'em.
Panther. They
Yeah.
used God, what's that song
Legend
called?
Has It.
Yeah, Step into the Spotlight.
Yeah,
Woo!
Step into the Spotlight. And it's a great song, but they used the song Run the Jewels, their titular track, if you will, the first song on their first album of the same name, Run the Jewels, in The Defenders, and it works so well. It's the best fight scene in any of the Netflix shows, probably. Other than like probably one in Daredevil that was just so well choreographed. It's just so well done, and like I don't know, it feels like the song is a kung fu song, and they execute it perfectly. Like it's very well done. I'll show you the.
Yeah, I need to check that out.
Yeah, I'll show you the fight. It's not really.
I didn't know they used their song in The Defenders. I mean, I haven't watched it, so that probably is it.
Yeah, and it's at a part where
Kevin Feige's like, this shit's fucking banging.
Yeah.
Sitting in like his CEO office at Disney.
I imagine Marvel.
This bitch the fuck out.
I do imagine that Marvel just like they just sit around and they're like, like Run the Jewels, amazing stuff, and like the Mickey Mouse is just in the room like, God, this shit is banging.
Oh,
it's just like yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I will take a minute to note that it was Hunter who showed me Run the Jewels.
Okay.
He has a picture of them with Killer Mike and LP on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, Ernest is in it, and Gaia.
How did they find
Grant.
Killer Mike and LP to take a picture?
Well, they saw them live in Atlanta.
That's crazy that they
earlier
even
this
agreed
year.
to take a picture with white people.
Well, no, it was. Yeah, even LP was.
Is Killer
like,
Mike white?
No, Killer Mike's black as hell. LP
I've
is
heard
white.
of him, but I've never seen him. I've never listened to him.
He's a big black man. But no, there's like a
LP.
Killer-
I think is. I don't think LP is white. I think he's Latino of some kind, right? His name is
looks,
ELP.
He looks pretty white.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, and he's
Okay.
from Brooklyn,
I might just be a racist.
possibly.
Might?
Well, I'm pretty sure Killer.
Shut up, Garren.
Well, I'm pretty sure Killer Mike owns a barber shop, or he owns some store in Atlanta.
That is
and they
the
did a
coolest thing I've ever
and
heard.
They did some sort of fan signing. I don't know if it's a
that is
barber shop or if it's some sort of restaurant, but he owns some sort of store where they did like a fan meeting and line up, get your shit signed. You can take a picture.
I love that, actually.
So-
That's really cool. I hope he owns a barbershop. I hope he cuts hair at the barbershop.
If he doesn't own a barber shop, that's just me being racist as shit. but
Did you ever see
plausible? It's plausible.
Did you ever you watch the recent critically acclaimed film Barbershop 3 The Next Cut?
They made a third
Yes.
one?
Yeah.
Was that
Did you watch
with
it?
Ice Cube?
Yeah, I mean all of them are with Ice
Yeah,
Cube,
yeah.
I believe.
Oh,
But Nicki
there's a
Minaj
new
is
one,
in
is
this
what you're saying.
Yeah, Nicki Minaj is in
Yeah.
this.
I think we might be talking about the same thing then.
You were
Yeah,
probably
I've seen the
are.
one with Nicki Minaj in it.
Yeah.
Is barbershop like Friday, but it just takes place all at a barbershop?
I mean, Friday's funnier.
Oh, okay.
To be sure.
I've never seen
Barbershop is like the third one. The one I've seen is just like there's obviously a huge issue with crime in Chicago, and they just sort of start this thing to have that cleaned up, and they work with like the police office and community members, and they just work to like.
Is it a good movie though?
Up.
Is Friday a good movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, Friday is a good movie.
Friday's pretty
Tell
solid.
me how to feel about Friday.
All right, so we used to work with this guy named Kevin.
Kevin, yeah, Kev.
African American fellow as well. And he would always go...
Race is such an important issue for this show to specify.
It is, because it goes a bit into the... it plays a part in the story.
It kind of does, yeah.
Like, he would always go around asking everyone if they had seen Friday. And then,
most of the answers were no, but us having a movie podcast, we were like, actually, yeah, we have seen Friday.
Yeah, and they were like, he was like shocked. He was like, oh, you're like the only white people who have seen Friday. And I'm just like all my friends have seen Friday. Like, I know, like, they've all seen Friday. But he would not, Friday. And he would not shut up about it. Don't tell him that, because he will not shut up. He'll be like, but dude, you black.
Dom's seen Friday, right?
Dom?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
I imagine Dom's seen Friday. I think that... Because
we're just name dropping, like, cooks and shit.
Dom's a great guy.
Dom?
I
enjoy Dom's presence.
Almost every day that I have time, or Dom and I both have time, excuse me, because Dom is a busy guy at work. He's got a lot of responsibility. But
he runs a paper route in the mornings.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He recently followed me on Instagram, so shout out to Dom. But every time that I have a moment to stand there and like have a conversation with him, I feel smarter, because like Dom just like, I don't know, just I enjoy having conversation with him. It's just I never don't have a good conversation with him, because I'll bring something to him that like I've witnessed like socially in society. Socially in society is that's redundant, but and like he'll have a great observation to come back at me with, and I'm like, dang, like almost every conversation I feel like I'm not adding anything to it. I feel like but he adds everything to the conversation.
Well, Dom, like he listens to you, and if you make a point, like even if it's not even like necessarily correct, he will like kind of like retort off of that, and he'll be like, kind of like inspired, I guess, or something. Maybe he'll see like the point that you have, and he'll collaborate on it.
See, I feel like
just expound upon it.
Yeah. Because it's very cool to have a conversation with him, because he does like he might not agree with everything you're saying, but he'll take what you're saying and find an aspect of it to agree with you upon, and like to further the conversation in a friendly manner. I love that. Like that's a great way to have conversation.
Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah.
All right, I just got an interesting question for you guys.
Sure,
Oh, we got a question?
Yeah, we got a question.
From who?
My mother.
Your mom?
My mother.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
right. She actually just texted me a link of like interesting topics. But one of them was so what do you think about artists and alter egos? Do you think that so like for example, like Eminem has Slim Shady, so like do you think that, because a lot of artists actually do that, do you think that it's like a creative way to express different ideas? I know like Janae Aiko has like Penny, and she talks about how she like raps with Penny and stuff, and like she's a different person.
I haven't heard enough of like, I mean, I've heard every Eminem song that's pretty much popular.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard every Eminem song though, and like I don't know enough about his alter ego.
Like Kendrick Kendrick Lamar is technically like a different rapper than K-Dot.
Yeah.
Like they have like, so like do you think that Drake refers to himself as like the boy, or like it's slight, do you think that that's like a reflection of that genius insanity line, or do you think that's just their creative way of like conveying a message differently?
It's like it's almost like they're playing a character, and it's a way they want to express things, maybe in like a way they can be like, okay, don't take this 100% seriously.
That's a good point. It kind of does give them an excuse to be a little wrong, or say something
say things
false.
say things that are vulgar,
or
things they don't necessarily even believe that are true, but to do it in a kind of profound way to maybe point out wrongs. Like Death Grips, that's a character. Stefan Burnett, he's MC Ride on the albums.
Yeah.
And he's like in a lot of his songs, it's all about like drug addiction and shit like that.
Yeah.
A lot like like weird like planes in your mind, like being outside reality and like not even like caring about real life, stuff like that. It's like, yeah, these are probably thoughts that he has, but he's going it through like this, you know.
He doesn't want to say it as himself.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like a reflection of people being like multi-layered. Like I know we talk about like, you know, movies and music mainly here, but you know, I still have opinions about like social things and political things, and I think it's a way for artists to like convey their other opinions that are deeper than, you know, what they normally would talk about, and still like they kind of consider that a different person, I guess. Like they need a new identity to be able to talk about certain issues, because like you know, if, you know, let's think some rapper that, you know, a mumble rapper, if Future starts talking about political issues, like he probably you know, he might have an opinion on that, but for him to start publicly rapping about that after he's already created, you know, his like persona, he kind of needs a new, like, he has to separate mumble rap Future from like activist Future.
I'm trying to think of an example where it doesn't really work, and the only one that I can think of is Michael Jackson when he released Bad, his follow-up to Thriller. Like on the front cover, he's wearing like a leather jacket, and, you know, he's looking all tough and stuff. And it's like he's not really a character. It was more like a aesthetic to the album, you know, for the hit single "I'm Bad."
Yeah, I think one that's one of the more recent ones that I've seen is like The Weeknd and Starboy, and like that's a thing because a lot of his music videos are very well done. First off, he does have a lot of good ones.
The alter ego thing is very subtle. It's not like
it's
total
subtle
personality change.
That's one that's really subtle. I don't know if I can think of one that doesn't work. I think that the idea as a whole is a little played out. It's been done. It's been done to death, you know?
Definitely.
And like, I think that almost every rapper sort of does it. But I think that like, as long as it comes out or is created in an organic way where it doesn't make you like, you're not forcing this. It comes out in an artistic way. It's an artistic form of expression.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Then it's cool. Like, you know, if it's an organic progression of ideas. I think that I'm such a big Childish Gambino fan, I'm trying not to talk about it. But like,
you do love Donald Glover.
I do.
You love that man.
I do, and I think that in a way, what he says on his albums would be less sincere if he did it as Donald Glover. I think that saying it under the Childish Gambino alias it makes it profound.
Yeah.
Like people go, okay, like it's not just a guy, you know, like Childish Gambino's kind of, it's just like a different outlet for him. And
I kind of think, Gambino's sort of like the rapper. Like Donald Glover is a well-rounded artistic person. You know, he writes, acts, produces, raps, sings. You know, I think that Childish Gambino is just his version of the musical side of him. Like Donald Glover's like the more like that's all encompassing of everything he can do. Childish Gambino just refers to his rapping.
Yeah, there is a really cringe video on YouTube. I'm sure you can find it. It's Donald Glover interviewing Childish Gambino. This is like, it's very cringe to me. I don't like to watch it. I've watched it 2 or 3 times and I will never go back unless you wanted to watch it with me. It's really him, and he's in a room, and like he's basically with another twin, and it's Childish Gambino's on one side, Donald Glover's on the other. It takes the whole thing and makes it very on the nose. It was before he released Because of the Internet, because once he was Because of the Internet, once that hit, he's an expert at what he's doing. Like he knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what his online persona was. At this point, like this is like around camp where he wasn't totally well-rounded, and like I mean, I think he was well-rounded, but like I don't think he had a grasp on what exactly he had. And so like it's him, and like Donald Glover's like this meek like guy interviewing Childish Gambino, and Childish Gambino's like this rough around the edges. Yeah. Like this devil may care, if, as Collin would say, attitude personified.
Devil may care. It's a great.
It is.
It's a great saying.
It is a great saying. But like, I think that video doesn't need to exist because I can already see it. Like you can see that in his music and in his work that he does. So,
yeah, like, it's a little redundant. You're saying.
Yeah, and I don't think that if you have an alter ego, it doesn't need an explanation. It can just exist.
I just thought of a good example of the alter ego thing. A$AP Rocky. And his alter ego of like Pretty Flacco. Like he raps about that.
Pretty Flacco.
That's a hilarious name.
Yeah, I mean, so like A$AP Rocky, like he's part of that A$AP Mob group. Like it's just, you know, just their group name. I think that
A$AP Ferg in there as well. Okay, that's the only other person in that group I know, and I haven't heard any music by Ferg, and I've heard 1 or 2 songs by Rocky.
Wow, really? Okay.
Yeah, so, I'm really not experienced with him at all.
A$AP Rocky, I mean, he's a rapper, and I guess he would get pretty lyrical, but he's more modern. He does, he doesn't produce his own music. I don't think it's pretty modern. He's recent, but I would say his A$AP Rocky persona is more of like the rapper, the kid from Harlem, the more ghetto, pot smoking, gold teeth having dude. And Pretty Flocko is sort of like he was a model for GQ, and he's into fashion and stuff. I think that's more of like his like pretty boy like model side, rather than being just a gangbanger from Harlem. He has to separate, like he wanted to get into more endeavors, so he created like another persona so that he would seem credible.
That way, like
in a way,
these two like styles wouldn't like clash.
Yeah,
and one
you can't
like,
be a super ghetto gangbanger and then like be
Frank
model
Ocean
and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If there's any other points we want to bring up about this subject, I have two bands that I want to bring up that do it in kind of a different way, but Kiss. That's definitely an alter ego look,
Yeah, I would say
these,
so.
Like, larger than life rock stars. Almost like, I don't know much about Kiss, but almost like aliens, like they're from like another planet or something.
Pretty much, yeah.
I think a lot of rock bands from the 70s were like that. They were just like
space
totally out there,
yeah.
just trying to be kind of like, I mean, that would be like Nicki Minaj now, like Lady Gaga or something. Just what, Madonna, just what in the world are they doing?
It works too.
We would be remiss not to bring up David Bowie and Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah,
him too.
That's
that is a persona.
That's an excellent example that I just conjured up out of fucking thin
That is
air.
a good one. I also wanted to bring up Slipknot, because they definitely absolutely have a alter ego thing where they wear masks and it looks like this band of like serial killers.
Yeah,
and like them and Kiss, they're like some of the biggest bands, like stadium bands where people fucking fill up a whole stadium because they want to see them.
Yeah,
and with Kiss, like dude, they were like a franchise. You could get anything with Kiss on it. I remember being at the mall and they were selling Kiss cologne. There's a legit Kiss coffin. It's insane. Like you can buy anything with Kiss on it.
Yeah, that's wild.
So people like it.
They like the mystery and like the who are they really kind of thing, and like is this Daft Punk?
Is this who?
Yeah, I feel like there's two sides to that.
Daft
Definitely,
Punk.
there's like an awe factor if the artist is super mysterious.
Is this what they're really like?
Like Gambino, he doesn't have a huge social media presence. Whenever he drops something, it's kind of like out of the blue. He's not like a super huge public figure.
Yeah,
but at the same time, people also like to get behind that veil and like actually meet and see who they are, like artists actually are, so they can like connect with them.
Yeah.
And I feel like neglecting that part kind of limits you. I think Childish Gambino works it off pretty well, because whenever he does act in, whenever he is in interviews, he does open up. He does, seem like an everyday guy, but he does have this aura of like mystery and like, I don't really know who he is. What is he doing in his personal life? He's not super out there as a public figure.
Yeah. When he was releasing Because the Internet, there was, I don't know if you ever watched some of the interviews with him, and if you'd read the screenplay, it's like he's playing the character that he wrote, like to a T. He's dressing exactly in the same clothes every time in all the interviews.
I haven't even read it yet.
It's freaking weird, man. Like it's a great. I think it's really well written. I don't know how it would play on screen, but I think it's a good screenplay. But like he's playing this alter ego that he creates for himself, like under the childish. He plays the boy, who is Childish Gambino, who is Donald Glover, and like when he was touring, he's playing that character. He's acting like him. Like it's his own body language isn't even really his own. Like he's it's just bizarre. Like
it's like a performance art, like all capturing what he likes to do, which is act, write, and music. All
exactly,
in one
actually,
type of
holy
performance.
Shit. Yeah, that's very.
I think being
very profound what you just said. That's crazy.
Very insightful there.
Yeah, that was wild. That was wild. I haven't really thought of that.
I think most actors in general are a little crazy in a way. Like for you to be able to pull off being somebody else that well, like that, there's definitely
it's borderline sociopath behavior.
That kind of creeps me out. You never know who you're like. I think Kevin Spacey, actually, he admitted saying when he was a kid he was abused and he hated his life so much he wanted to be an actor because he wanted to be somebody else.
Damn. I guess that is part of it.
Yeah.
It's funny how actors used to be like fucking like bottom feeder jobs in like the Victorian Elizabethan era. Like it was not cool to be an actor. You were like bottom, like
you're a complete loser. Yeah.
People like
Yeah, 'cause
lobbing their shit at you.
I feel like there's an aura around actors of like that mystery, but it's too much. It's gone too like even like The Rock, for example. He has a huge social media presence, huge public figure, but I always have this weird feeling that I'm never actually that he's The Rock.
not
Like
being
Dwayne
himself,
Johnson is never
yeah.
the one talking. Like it's always his public persona.
Yeah, you're
Like
absolutely
you never
right.
meet Dwayne Johnson. Like he has teenage daughters, but you never see them anywhere on social media. He has a little girl. Who's her mother? Does he ever spend time with her? The man is on social media up and working out at 4:30 in the morning, working 15-hour days.
It's like
He's probably an awful dad.
It's like they want us to like look
Yeah.
up to celebrities, and it's like, why should we?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, some of them are cool. Others, The Rock. I mean, I'd be pretty bummed to hear that he's like this shitty person because that's his whole thing.
There's
is that
no way
just, like,
he's a great father and works as much as he does and travels and stuff. Like that's tough.
Yeah, but like, see, then again, I see your face, and you're trying to find a way to like,
Maybe he does his
not
best
see it
and-
like that, right? And
Yeah.
like, I think that's part of the reason why we just go, oh, well, we'll just ignore that part, and
it's part of
'cause
it's part of the reason he's successful because he's nice and everyone loves The Rock and he's
Yeah,
charismatic.
I think that
Yeah.
if somebody's extremely successful in one area, I think they're extremely lacking in another. Like Steve Jobs, apparently he was an awful person to work for. Like he was just very, he was not a good dad. He, mistreated a lot of his workers. But I mean, at the end of the day, like he was one of the smartest and most influential people in history. There's extremely successful people always have an extremely bad part of them.
yeah,
yeah,
It's just the nature of not being well-rounded. You have to spend so much time perfecting an art. You just totally don't work on anything else. It's hard.
Artists are insane people.
they really are.
Yeah.
They're a
I mean, look at-
different breed, man.
Look at Stanley Kubrick. He's known to be kind of like a bit like cold.
Well, yeah,
no one
I
ever
think
said
that
he was terrible.
He's
or
a little on
anything.
the spectrum, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
that's a rumor.
Yeah.
like, based on his behavior. But he made some of the most like perfected movies ever.
Just the most like
Spielberg,
the most
on the other hand,
concise.
you never hear anything bad about Spielberg.
You really don't. I think just because Spielberg just knows how to run a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
And like he
He kind of created modern Hollywood.
Yeah,
in,
he
in
did.
a sense. He's like one of those old school guys who made like blockbusters and like
Yeah.
shaped everything into what it is now.
yeah, and yet there haven't been really any allegations over him. Have there?
Is this,
Yeah.
is
I'm not
this,
saying everybody, but definitely, like, it's logical to think, and you definitely see evidence of it through certain people that, if you devote a ton of time to something, you can't help but neglect other aspects of, being a person.
Yeah.
Like, maybe your social skills are lacking. You see a lot of rappers, rich, successful, but you get them in an interview and, like, they're barely articulate. They're not good at conveying, ideas.
football players too?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just, you just can't be an expert in everything.
That's true. That's a good point. I wasn't like assuming that everybody's like a celebrity when I suggested Spielberg. Just you saying that he's a kind of like one of those founding members of classic old school Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
and yet like you don't really hear anything bad about the guy.
Yeah.
Whereas like Hollywood, I mean nowadays the veil has been lifted over what
Yeah.
Hollywood really is.
It's pretty crazy how it's
Yeah.
like changing.
Yeah, and
You know,
yet
it's like-
Spielberg you don't really hear anything bad about
It's
the
like
guy.
it's like who's next?
Yeah,
who's
I'm-
going to be outed?
Another not movie related, but like Derek Jeter, like he seems just like a perfect role model. I'm like, I just know something. Like, there's no way that man was that good at baseball, and like, he's just having his first kid at 40 something. If that tells you anything, like he wasn't able to have a family. Like some area in his life was just lacking.
Yeah,
He was
that is
not. There's no
interesting.
way he was a well-rounded person.
Jacob, were you at work when I had this like obvious epiphany
What
about
epiphany?
presidents, future presidents, and even like past presidents?
I don't think you've told
I
me
brought
this.
it up to
Explain this,
I
I'm
brought it up
curious.
to Alex, the cook, not Garcia.
Okay.
But dude, we will never elect a president who isn't married and has kids. No question about it. Wouldn't even be. Like,
Haven't we
nominated.
already
Have we?
married a
No.
president that got married in the office? Yeah, we have.
Have we?
It's happened. Yeah,
You might look that up.
that's
I
happened
can't.
before.
I can't
yeah.
see it now. Just being like, oh, I'm just a single guy.
I think it's happened like
Do you
once
kinda-
before. It's not very many times.
I feel like people
but
look for that in a president,
Yeah,
well-roundedness.
yeah,
If they see
exactly.
their family life, like, oh, what's going on there?
It's not the most like groundbreaking genius thought. It's just something I realized, and I was like, wow, like You get my point, though.
Yeah.
Like, we would never elect a
You
president.
want a good family man as a president. You know,
Yeah.
I think people tend to think that says a lot about a person's character if they have.
I mean, like,
good
the
parents and
modern
husbands.
president, too. Maybe not, like, some J. Edgar Hoover. No, I'm just going to stop talking about the history of presidents.
America has had one divorcee who's a president, 2 widowers who are president, who moved on to second wives while they were in the office.
Really, who?
I don't know. I'm reading a list of. It's like off the Google thing. It's like the preview of the article. One president who never got married, and Ronald Reagan was the only president who ever divorced his wife, which is hilarious.
He divorced her while he was president?
What a dick.
I don't. Maybe after. I don't know. A president.
Maybe after. So there was.
If Trump dies married to Melania, I will be stunned.
James Buchanan was a bachelor the entire time.
He was the one who was never married.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people think he was gay too.
Fascinating.
I mean, yeah. I guess if you don't get married, you're gay.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan left or got divorced from his wife very early.
In his presidency?
No, he wasn't even early in life. Like he was divorced when he ran for president. He was an actor too.
Is Trump the only one with like 3 ex-wives?
He's the oldest president.
I know that. Yeah.
Franklin D. Roosevelt had an affair while he was in office, but they kept the marriage together because of his political career.
Same with Bill Clinton.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Publicly known to have a cigar aficionado affair. We used to get magazines because my dad smoked a lot of cigars, and like I'd see them lying around called Cigar Aficionado.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and we always had 1 million cigar boxes. Your all-purpose cigar box. We had you covered. You guys ever have a nice cigar box? Keep some old letters in, maybe your receipts for tax season?
No, I keep cigars in them.
Cigars? Have you ever smoked a cigar? They're fucking
definitely.
Dude, they're heavy shit.
No, I enjoy cigars like once a week, probably.
Really?
Yeah, I
Wow.
love cigars.
My dad said he's had like some cigars that just like had him on his ass. Like couldn't fucking move after like smoking them because
Really?
because they're that heavy and they give you like a fat buzz.
You're not supposed to inhale cigars, Collin.
I don't smoke cigars.
Oh, really?
But no, cigars are more for like flavor. Right?
Yeah. It's like it. I feel like they more represent like not anymore,
Wealth,
but where they came from is status because they take like an hour and a half, 2 hours to smoke one, and like for you to back in the day, 1800s, for you to have 2 hours of free time to just sit down and smoke a cigar, like that showed a lot of status.
Yeah,
you have enough money to not work for 2 hours, like
wow,
that's actually very insightful.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I've never smoked a cigar.
I never thought of it that way. I don't recommend cigars unless you're going to be like one of those guys who's like, I'm just going to smoke one when my kid's born, then smokes one, and then like goes pale and ends up like throwing up in the delivery room.
Having good cigars, like having a good cup of coffee, it's sort of that same like kind of earthy, savory type of thing. Like,
yeah.
It gives you a little like nicotine thing, but it's mainly really just to show status. Like I have the free time to smoke this whole thing.
Yeah. It's kind of like just indulging in some sweet ayahuasca one day, you know?
What?
It's just something you just do, and you're like, yeah, it'll be over in a couple minutes.
Or like going to
Not
some
really.
indigenous tribe and they have like this powder and they blow it in your face.
Oh God.
Then you go on a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would
Wow, guys.
I would be very interested in doing ayahuasca, but I don't want to.
That's like peyote.
I need to tell you this story.
Something
then.
similar.
Not quite. Tell us this story, because you've told me this story, but Colin's gonna
Wait,
probably
all right, so-
find it quite interesting.
Back in
Okay.
June, I went to Peru for about a week and a half.
Oh, wow.
And that's like where ayahuasca is like. That's where it originated. They still have.
Is it like a
shamans.
liquid? Or
Yes.
is it,
All right,
it's a
so
liquid?
It's like a
It's-
sludge, basically.
So
Sludge.
it's in the Amazon rainforest, and they take a root of one plant and a leaf of another, and they brew it up into a tea. And apparently, it tastes horrible. I've never done it, and the combination of the two, normally it's just the leaf that has the chemical that makes you trip, and
like some DMT.
normally,
type
it is
stuff?
DMT.
Okay.
And normally, if you consume it, just the leaf, it won't, because your stomach acid breaks it down. So the root, there's chemicals in the root that make it so that you can digest it and like digest the chemicals that make you trip. And so I met this one guy at a hostel there, and he did DMT, and like they're all around the campfire. There's probably a group of like 10 people plus the shaman, and he was saying, you know, it makes you expel, it makes you have massive diarrhea and like throw up, and
That's why you should purge.
Yeah,
or
you're
like
supposed
beforehand. You should
to have a certain
fast.
diet beforehand to get the full benefit.
Because otherwise, there's that purging period where
Yeah.
you're sitting there
shitting
with a
your brains
bucket.
out.
Yeah.
Mostly, I think you're mostly just sitting there with a bucket and you're
Yeah.
puking your brains
Yeah.
out. It's
He
I
went-
think diarrhea is a thing if you're not fucking prepared
Yeah.
for that shit.
So like he went to an outhouse to relieve himself, and it's in the middle of the woods, you know, in the middle of a jungle, and he starts hearing leopards calling. So like imagine hearing leopards calling while you're tripping in like
Leopards, like cheetahs?
yeah, no leopards. They have leopards in the Amazon forest, Amazon jungle, and he starts hearing those and he's like freaking out. So like he's trapped in this little outhouse, this wooden structure for like 2 hours until he like calms himself down enough to like go back out, you know, to the rest of where everybody was. And he said that while he was sitting in there, he was just sort of listening to them and just sort of like feeling what they were feeling, and they were howling very loudly. And he got this weird like insight, apparently this weird feeling that they were hungry, and he started feeling like genuine empathy for the leopards, and like he started crying. Like he just felt like he felt the hunger that they were feeling and felt bad for them. And he said it was just the most profound thing he's ever experienced. Like absolutely connecting with the leopard that was possibly trying to eat them and feeling sorrow for it. Like he was just saying that it was just absolutely not describable and just extremely profound.
Wow.
It's really interesting.
That's
Never-
insane.
That's
Yeah.
a perspective I've never even like imagined. Like, you know, feeling empathy for like some wild animals.
Like that's trying to kill you, probably.
Yeah.
Like
No, that's like what he thought was happening. Like they're hungry, and there's a bunch of high ass people, white people that have no weapons. They're just
No means
pick
to
'em off.
survive.
Yeah. He said there were chickens in their little like area too, the little village that they were staying at. So he was thinking that they were really trying to get the chickens, but
You were there for this. He was just telling this story to you.
yeah,
And now the story is being passed onto the podcast.
yes, it is.
That's pretty
it's
amazing.
the guy that lives in Steamboat.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I really need to meet this man. We should have a Steamboat pod. You want to come to Steamboat with us?
Where's Steamboat?
It's in Colorado.
Colorado?
Yes.
Sure. Fuck yeah.
Because I think that we're planning a trip at some point to
Really?
go like skiing. Yeah, that's what the ski trip funds. No, no, not really. That's for the
The emergency ski trip funds.
yeah, it's for the bank. But we want to go and like love to have you if you want to go.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, because I like to ski. Garren's you've never skied,
never
but
skied.
I've never skied.
shoot, I mean it's fun to learn. It's fun to be with like friends and learn too. I don't know. I did it with my family, had a great time. I feel like everything that I do with my family and have a great time, I would also have a great time doing it with friends. Just like opening up Christmas presents around the Christmas tree, you know?
Yeah.
That's something that's going to happen soon.
When's a Friends Miss gonna happen? Why is it always, it's just, nope.
Well-
That'd be fun. Get all the friends together. Get
Yeah.
some ayahuasca.
There's this new trend called Friendsgiving. Yeah, it's stupid. You should just say it's Thanksgiving with my friends.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving isn't necessarily with your family. It's whoever you want to give thanks with. Also,
That was in Funny People with Adam Sandler.
was it really? I
Yeah,
haven't seen
they
Funny
have a
People.
they have a thing.
Wow,
Not many
Jacob
people.
is
Not many people.
Plagiarizing movies and ideas.
God,
They have that. There's a
you know.
scene where it's Thanksgiving, and they're just like, they mention like, thank God we're not actually with any of our family.
Fair enough.
Funny
I mean,
People is okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but
It's a long ass movie.
I want to say this. This is a thing that I find annoying. It's getting to the holiday times. Excuse me. So
Yes.
I want to say this and gauge y'all's thoughts on it.
Let's hear it.
The Merry Christmas versus Happy Holidays thing. The political
I
correctness
don't
thing.
see anything wrong with saying either.
Yeah.
If you do Christmas, then I would expect you to say Happy Holidays, but I don't. If you get offended for me saying Merry Christmas, like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
You're
Just
just
means,
looking for
like,
shit to get offended by.
It's like saying Merry Christmas to someone doesn't matter your fucking like religious.
I know
views.
Jews that partake in Christmas isn't a religious thing anymore. It's just a fun event for people to give some presents and like,
Yeah.
spread
distract us from-
spread joy to the world. That's
Yeah.
all that Merry Christmas means.
Yeah.
It's about like everything that's great.
I think it's
humanity.
lost its religious context.
Maybe it kind of.
I
It's
think
okay if it
I think
does.
for some it has, for some it hasn't. I mean, just
Oh, no.
But what
Kirk Cameron,
I'm
for
saying
sure.
is like when I wish you a Merry Christmas, I'm wishing you what I celebrate. Whatever you celebrate's on your own time, I don't really care. But I hope you have, from me to you, a Merry Christmas.
That's
I don't think the words that are said are what's important in the message. The message is that you're just trying to, what's up? Have a, it's like saying, be nice or be good or, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just have a Merry Christmas at that time of the year. Just have a good time during that time of the year. I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Well, what about like some people who are like, oh, keep the Christ in Christmas, and when they say Merry Christmas, they literally do mean like celebrate the birth of Jesus.
Well, then they're heathens.
That's what they mean. Like, then that's what they mean. That's what they celebrate. I'm not.
This is kind of controversial, isn't it?
It is. It is controversial. But like, what I'm saying is like, I'm trying my best to illustrate my belief in this thing because I do have a certain like feeling about it. I think that I celebrate Christmas. So I'm not going to wish you, just because you're Jewish, a happy Hanukkah. I'm going to say, I celebrate Christmas, so Merry Christmas.
Well, yeah, I don't know anybody's religion by meeting them in a casual encounter, so like it's just safe to assume in the culture we live in that Christmas is probably the most likely thing. This isn't... I think the typical person I run into is either non-religious or Christian, possibly Jewish. The minority of where I live and the people I encountered, Muslim and Buddhist, like... It's if I'm going to assume the real religion, I'm going to say if I'm going to assume the holiday you partake in, it's going to be Christmas.
Yeah, depending on your region. I think people get more offended if you don't tell them Merry Christmas than vice versa.
Definitely. I thought about it in retrospect, but I wished a Merry Christmas to people that were wearing like hijabs. Clearly Muslim women, and I was like, have a Merry Christmas or something, and they said it right back. They're like, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Like,
but it's when you say to someone who celebrates Christmas and you say Happy Holidays, if you're in like something like customer service, I think that's what its main thing is for, is like businesses.
I think it was more of like schools and stuff. They didn't want to encompass everybody as being like Merry Christmas. I think they were like trying to be more. I feel like it might have an effect on a Muslim kid, if you're the only Muslim kid in your class and everybody's saying Merry Christmas, well, I don't do Christmas, it might alienate them. Yeah. So they're trying to like include everybody.
You're seeing all this stuff on Christmas on TV. There's Christmas specials.
I honestly think it's lost its religious context. I think it's just something our culture partakes in.
It's all about money.
It really is.
All that Black Friday stuff. You should come with me and Hunter on our Black Friday annual extravaganza.
We might do a Black Friday vlog.
Dude, yes.
That'd be a lot of fun.
I will be working Black Friday.
Alright, so if you can join us for our Black Friday extravaganza, it's going to be great because Hunter's going to charge a 4K TV to his credit card. It's going to be great.
Is that really that big of a deal?
Yeah, dude. Watch him go into debt even more. I might possibly do it.
How old is Hunter?
Hunter's 22.
He's got a credit card? He doesn't care about life.
I have a credit card.
I mean, a credit card is a perfectly fine thing to have. I've thought about getting a credit card
just to
like
build
buy
for
buy concert tickets on it and then just immediately pay it back.
Yeah, just to build your credit. Something that you'll pay. Yeah. It's not a bad idea. Definitely if you're certain you're going to pay it back, but I don't know. I'm weird about debt.
I've thought about it.
Being in debt.
It's shitty. It's not fun.
Yeah. You have a credit. Well, you have car payments that you make.
Yeah.
Because Collin recently bought a car.
Recently. By the time we started the podcast.
What kind of car?
It's you've seen it, the one out there. It's the Chevy Trax.
You needed a new car.
Yeah.
That piece of shit you drove before was
Dude, the Jeep's epic. It's still running.
Don't mislead people. It was a Jeep, but it wasn't the Jeep you think. It was not a Jeep Wrangler.
No, it was a Jeep Cherokee. Jeep
Wranglers and Jeep Cherokees are what people think of when they think of Jeeps.
Because like
mainly
Jeep
the Wrangler.
Yeah.
A 90s Jeep Wrangler, that's like...
It's a death trap.
It's like a bomb-proof... The thing is not... Probably, if you take decent care of the thing throughout its life, like, it'll go 50 years. So those engines that they put them in, those 4 cylinders, they're bomb-proof. They don't blow up.
Yeah, but they just flip
years.
Like a mofo. They're really easy to flip because they're real top-heavy,
Yeah.
The Jeep that I drove was from 94, and it's still running.
Yeah.
So it's as old as I am. That's crazy.
That is crazy. That's even older than I am.
Right now, I'm driving the Chevy Trax. From my knowledge, from what I understand, the exact car model and color is a Transformer in Age of Extinction.
That is... I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know. Fuck. Like, shit. It would make sense, too, because it's a 2015 model.
Yeah.
And, car models, they're always like a year up. Age of Extinction came out in 2014.
Yeah.
So they would want to be showing their new model of Equinox mommy soccer car.
Isn't it funny that they do that in movies? I think
it's like product placement for things people can't afford.
Do you remember the Jeep product placement in Batman vs. Superman that's very on the nose?
No, I don't.
It's, okay, so I'll paint you a picture. So the white screen for Batman vs. Superman comes up, and it's like before the arrival of the Superman. It's very stupid.
At the very beginning.
Yeah.
And
it shows Bruce Wayne's perspective of what's going on in Metropolis. And Bruce Wayne hops out of his helicopter, first minute of the movie, hops out of his helicopter and is like, give me the keys or whatever, get out of the way, and gets in a Jeep. I don't know. It was probably like a Jeep Patriot or something. Probably like the brand new model at the time. And there's just one long shot of him just driving this Jeep Patriot
that through like the wreckage and everything.
Through the wreckage, and like no one's on the road in basically New York City. No one's on the road.
Is this Batman vs Superman?
Yes. No one's on the road or anything in, let's say, New York City. And he's just skirting around. Yeah, like this is Metropolis.
Oh.
So it's, Chicago, New York, something like that. Yeah. Something where in the middle of a catastrophe that's occurring, everyone is going to be leaving. Like, the city's going to be busy.
Hey, but that Jeep can handle all those bumps and over wreckage. You need one of those cars for when an alien battle is happening.
Yeah, and like the ships like coming down, and like skyscrapers are coming down, and like the Jeep's just dodging them and everything. It's so gross. And then he parks after like 2 minutes of driving through Metropolis for this really long Jeep commercial, he gets out of the car and then watches his building fall down.
Yeah. And then doesn't he like save a little girl?
Yeah, he saves a little girl and then like stares up at Superman and is like, I'm going to beat the shit out of him later in this movie.
Speaking of like people frantically running, did you guys hear what happened at that FAMU homecoming parade thing?
No.
So I went to that. I don't go to FAMU, but I went to it with my two sisters and their kids. And so like we were just walking around, it's really crowded. And all of a sudden, you just heard, like, popping. It was fireworks. It didn't even sound like gunshots. But absolutely 600 people just absolutely dropped everything they were doing and sprinted. My sister had her, had her daughter in a stroller. And, I grabbed her out of the stroller and started running. Like, I knew it wasn't a gunshot, but literally we would have gotten trampled.
Yeah,
I've never been a part of that. The stroller got broken, destroyed from people running, like, just trampling it.
Damn.
I ran for like 20 feet and I turned around and I was like, why is everybody still running? Everybody was dead sprinting, screaming, cops came. It was just somebody with fireworks, but I'd never seen mass hysteria like that. It's just...
That's scary.
Total mob. Like, you even if you... Like, I guarantee half the people there knew it wasn't a gunshot, but like, the other half are sprinting at you, about to truck you because they think it's a gunshot. Like, I totally understand that now. Just mob mentality, Black Friday mobs, like, it's totally possible.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Jeez.
How fucking heroic of you, just like grabbing your niece, nephew.
Yeah, we weren't gonna push the stroller at a dead sprint in the crowd of people.
The shake.
Grab the kid. We go back to the stroller and it's destroyed.
Damn. Strollers are expensive too.
Yeah, it was a couple
for a
$100.
Quality one.
So now you have to go into a Black Friday mob to get a new stroller
right,
that was trampled.
Exactly.
All right, I've never experienced a Black Friday hysteria. I haven't personally seen it.
I've never even gone to a Black Friday.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, really?
I'll go with you for the first time ever. That's my first experiencing that.
It's fun, dude. All the stores are open late. Hunter's buying televisions.
Wait, isn't that okay? What?
It's literally Thanksgiving.
It seems terrible. Why? People are waiting in line for hours.
I've noticed it's starting to die down more and more each year.
Well, because they also have the Cyber Monday thing that's more... It's growing in popularity now, and I think it's even more popular just because it's easier.
I'm sure there's going to be Amazon deals on Black Friday. Why should they wait for Cyber Monday?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's
I don't understand that either. Like, why am I going to get up extra early and look forward to spending my hard-earned money on something for somebody else that I won't use?
Well, it's mostly for people with kids.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Like, people with kids, they really want to get them that big toy, and it's expensive, but on Black
So
Friday,
you
you
can get a
can
job
get
and
a
get
little
it
bit
them damn self.
I
mean,
You're gonna risk
you
your
know.
life getting a toy?
I got my first
of
laptop.
kids.
I got my first laptop waiting in line for 5 hours at a Walmart.
Really? What'd you pay
Yeah.
for it?
I think like $200.
See,
was
like,
a- it was a- it
That's
was
worth it, though.
crazy.
That
Yeah,
might be
it is
worth it.
Yeah, yeah.
It was worth it because I really wanted the laptop. I'm trying to remember. God, the symbol. It wasn't a nice laptop. It was a very standard. You got what you paid for, which is one thing.
Bio.
It had like the Q.
Oh,
Had a
So it
queue.
was
I just
definitely like a little, like a...
Nothing special.
Nothing special, yeah.
That's the thing about Black Friday is that all the TVs, computers, and other electronics that are on sale are not top of the line shit. It's all like third party type companies, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to get a MacBook on sale on Black
No.
Friday.
Yeah, I feel like you wouldn't get like a
No.
Samsung 3D TV for
No.
Curve TV or something
No, not at all.
for half off. Like
it
that,
would just
no.
be like some kind of like lesser model, still pretty nice and gets the job done, but not like
It's
super
not gonna be top of
high
the line
quality.
with 50%
No.
off now.
No, not at all. Except for like, you know, video games, movies. A lot of places do specials on clothes, I guess, which is big for some people,
Yeah.
mainly women, I suppose. David, he goes Black Friday shopping. He just buys like the most random assortments of stuff. He'll be like, "Yeah, I got this all-purpose flashlight, this like safety vest, some tools." So
Hey, you know, I mean, I guess
He
if
buys-
you're gonna
he-
save money, why not? You know?
he buys practical stuff.
Do
Unlike
you
me and
actually
Hunter.
save money? Like I've heard so many stories of them just
Mhm.
jacking up the price right before Black Friday just to lower it to the normal price. It seems like you're getting a deal.
Yeah, I could see them doing that.
Mm.
It's fun. It's good.
Like
old
there's no
fun.
way that they're actually giving away deals like that. Like they still have to make money.
I think they make money by the masses buying it all at once. Like, that's a big deal, you know? Like,
That's true.
if you sell out of something, you don't always sell out of things, you know? Like,
All
you
right.
you restock and, like, you get it.
Yeah, they just make less per sale, but a
Yeah.
ton more sales. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is the laptop that I had, not the exact one, but
Oh.
Compact. That's what it was called.
Interesting.
It was okay.
So it was a piece of shit.
Yeah, it was just it was a cheap HP. I mean, now like you know, got this MacBook, so it's like I'd never go back. This Dell that you have seems to be pretty nice.
Yeah, it's really new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has
Scholarship
face
helped me out with that
recognition.
one.
I've never heard of that. So Black Friday, it's fun. Me and Hunter mainly go because we just buy we hoard up on like cheap Blu-rays. It's great. That's how I watched Batman v Superman.
You got
I
it for
got-
Black Friday?
Yeah, I got it for like $7
Well, I mean, why would you pay what I paid to go see that movie?
once.
Yeah.
I don't even have the movie anymore. I sold it to like a game store. For
Did you
credit.
really?
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
yeah. I
You
was
gave
like-
away a Blu-ray? I can't believe
well
you
for
did that.
for credit. For credit.
Yeah,
Like
even then,
cash.
Colin, I can't believe you did that.
You gotta condense your Blu-ray collection.
No,
I
you
can't
don't.
remember the last time I've watched a movie from a disc. I've streamed movies in movie theaters, but like it's been years since I've actually popped in a
It's-
disc.
There's some
watched a
novelty
movie.
to it.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's something cool about watching physical media.
But some to counter that, Garren, some companies do release like really super nice collector's editions
Mhm.
of certain movies.
It's like vinyl, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes for certain companies, what you pay for is like worth the value. But you know, like Batman v Superman on Blu-ray, it's just like a standard Blu-ray, nothing really
Mhm.
that special.
Yeah. I think that you collecting that many Blu-rays, like, at that point, individually, each shitty Blu-ray that you have, like, if you, I mean, like, it's not like every Blu-ray you have holds value. Like,
No,
the BVS Blu-ray wasn't a huge, like, thing, but
No, it's not worth
adding
anything.
to your collection is much more valuable than I feel like the individual Blu-ray itself is. Unless it's like the Dawn of the Dead Blu-ray that you have. I don't know if you have a fucking what do you have? Is it
I don't have the Dawn of the Dead Blu-ray because that's out of print.
You
I
have
have
Night
the
of the Living
I have the
Dead.
Ultimate Edition.
oh
Is that what I was telling? It's DVD, but it's like
yeah.
a
Oh,
collector's
that's right.
edition.
That's right. Yeah.
It's the one they use in Half in the Bag. They show it.
Okay.
It's like comes in
yeah.
this like black box. It's really cool.
That is cool. That's just a neat collector's thing to have. I don't know. Something about having a rare thing physically, like
And also like just growing up going
Yeah.
to like movie gallery and blockbusters and just being like, wow, this is so cool. Like look at all these movies. My family always had a movie collection, like a cabinet that had maybe like over 100 like VHS movies in it.
Yeah,
So
I think honestly,
just like grew up doing that type of stuff, like buying DVDs and
I think I had a yard sale a few years ago, and we got rid of all of them.
the VHS.
It's inconvenient. You have to go find the movie. Like we can just streaming services. It's so much
yeah,
easier.
that's
Amazon
the
Prime,
that's
every
the future
movie, yeah.
too.
Yeah, but it's just it's funny because at the time, you think about the things you throw away. I think we had a conversation about like gaming consoles, old gaming consoles, and
Yeah.
like how it was always cool to have the new thing. And like now we're at a point where like it's actually cool to have the old thing. Like it's neat to have an NES. It's neat to have a Super Nintendo, but like
It's neat to have a
once
VHS.
yeah, like a VHS. I mean, a VHS player you can get for whatever.
Why does that
but, like,
happen?
an
Why does
actual
pop
VHS
culture
is
tend
cool.
to like regret? Like
Nostalgia.
Like old cars are cool, vinyl's
It's
cool.
nostalgia? It's
Now
thoughts.
90s computer stuff is cool.
Yeah, like
It's-
look at this thing that Jacob has, like right here, that like
Yeah.
boots on a floppy disk, this like sample machine. It's just like nostalgia, and maybe like
Yeah.
you think back and you're like, things were pretty good. I have a VHS player. I have like 3 movies on it. It's just for the novelty
Mhm.
of just putting a movie in. I have Halloween 4, Star Wars, and Wild at Heart. So it's just like the novelty, put it in, the screen's all fuzzy.
Yeah, there's something about it. It's just cool. Even Stranger Things. We talked about Stranger Things a little bit. Garren really enjoyed
Yeah.
this new season. But like
It was part of it, just it being 80s-esque.
Yeah.
Like that
yeah,
was
but
having
like
that
even
feel.
the title, like the chapter 1, it's fuzzy, it flickers. It's
it's-
very VHS.
They got the
It's-
details in there too with the 80s
Yeah.
stuff. Like
Yeah, it looks very crisp. Not crisp, but like there's little black dots that'll just come out randomly
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's as if the print is imperfect.
Mhm.
That's kind of cool.
That film,
Actually,
that
the,
film grain.
Yeah, there is a little bit of film grain that's added in post, most likely, I would imagine. I'm guessing they didn't physically film
I'd be
the,
shocked if they did.
the title sequence like they did with like the original Star Wars, where it's on a pane and like they're filming it. Like, did you know they did that?
No.
Like the original, like the Star Wars scroll that comes out, like in the original, like the first cut,
yeah.
like it's on a pane, like all the words are laid out on a pane, and they just
I didn't
filmed it
know that.
very crisply. Yeah,
That's
and obviously now they do it like digitally, but
Mhm.
the fact that they even did that is very cool. That you're actually looking at like real letters, like that's being filmed just
That
in
is-
a black
yeah.
room that's lit up. It's neat. I actually added into Rooney the title sequence that I was trying to show you. It like flickers a little bit and like moves like ever so slightly. So, like
Rooney's gonna be legit as shit.
it is. It
It's
is
gonna be amazing. I
It is gonna be
appreciate all
amazing.
the hard work that you put into
Absolutely,
it.
absolutely. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a little bit, because I imagine we're going to go over that footage slightly. But yeah, like Act 1, Goodbye, Sober Day, it like flickers like
Really?
ever so slightly, and
like Stranger Things on this.
a little, yeah, a little bit, yeah. It wasn't.
Like
I
a-
wasn't trying to mimic it. I was just trying to give it a VHS feel.
That's
and
awesome.
It feels like it. Yeah, it's very cool. I think you'll like it.
Um,
It feels Stephen King-esque.
it's got a Stranger Things vibe to it.
Garren is telling us he has to leave soon because he has to go pick up his father.
Yep.
We only have about half an hour left of the show anyway, so you can go on and skedaddle
All right.
if you want, man.
Garren,
Had
it
fun
was,
with you guys.
it was great having you on.
Thank you for having me. I
Yeah.
enjoy being on.
You really,
Absolutely.
it was a great episode. I'm really glad you were here.
A lot of jibber jabber.
There was quite a bit of jibber jabber.
This has been more coherent jibber jabber.
This is a little bit more coherent
All right,
jibber jabber.
Garren, farewell. We'll see you very soon.
All right, guys. Making a
Yep.
mid-cast exit.
Yep, this is the first of many, probably.
Play that like Bruce Banner theme from the original like Lou Ferrigno Hulk. It's like that sad music, and he's like walking down a road. Do you know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about at all?
No, I don't.
You know what?
That's fine though.
No one ever talks about that TV series anymore. Even though like Marvel's like
Who played
huge
Bruce Banner?
shit.
Do you know this trivia? Bill Bixby.
Lou Ferrigno played the Hulk.
Yeah, but Bruce Banner is Bill Bixby. All right, you headed out, buddy?
Yeah, man.
All right, I love you, man. What was that? What'd you just throw to him?
Some money. Garren needs gas money.
I do.
All right, now that Garren's heading out, I guess we'll go ahead and talk about some movie news,
I guess we
topics,
will.
rumors.
All right, see you, man. Tell my parents that I told you goodbye and that I love you, and
All right.
tell my parents that
We
you
love you.
them
We love you, Garren.
Also,
Will do.
if they're out there, I don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
All right, see you, man.
See you, man. See you guys.
Later,
buddy.
Garren.
Later, love you. I've said I loved you, I think, to him 6 times.
It's important to tell that to your friends.
It
and
is
family.
important. Nobody ever does that anymore. Here, let me mute his mic real quick so we cut out the fuzz.
Oh, okay. All right.
A little bit less fuzz there, you know?
So, Jacob.
Yes.
Disney is at it again.
Oh, boy.
It's just rumors. Nothing has been officially confirmed except they've been talking.
They have been talking. Oh, Garren's back. He came back because he forgot his laptop. What a bum. All right, see you, man. Hey, charge it.
I will.
Good, love you. All right.
Disney's been having talks. It's like when you hear about like a couple that broke up and they might like be getting back together. It's probably not a very good analogy.
Probably not.
But Disney is interested in buying assets from 20th Century Fox.
Isn't that intriguing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's huge for movies.
Do they want
as
everything?
A whole.
They just want everything?
I would guess that they do want everything. I would say that this one is a little controversial.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's very controversial. Anything that Disney is going to come into contact and own soon is incredibly controversial, no doubt. It was controversial when they bought Lucasfilm. Super duper. Marvel, not so much. I don't really think anybody didn't want them to do that.
No one gave a shit about Marvel.
Yeah, and like everything that they've done for Marvel has been for the better. And but I would say that this is going, if it happens, if it's legit, we don't know. Nothing's been done on it. If it happens, this is easily the biggest thing to happen to movies in recent history. This is huge. Just because both of these companies collectively own so many things.
Yeah. And like what like Fox is saying, like, oh, we want to strip down. And it's like, what do you mean? Like, you've been like a movie studio for like, what, 40 plus years?
Yeah.
Like, you've been pretty successful. You've had movies like Star Wars come out, freaking Avatar, which happens to be the hugest grossing movie of all time. So
yeah.
I don't think they're doing bad as far as like quality and financials.
Yeah,
they have, steady hits coming out throughout the years. They're not Sony or anything.
No. I really think that this is it's so strange to me because like everybody's talking about what Disney would own if they just completely bought 20th Century Fox. And I think that Fox is thinking about selling aspects of their company, like different assets that they have.
Yeah, because 20th Century Fox doesn't really reek Disney.
No.
Like Star Wars kind of did, because it has all that movie magic, and Marvel to an extent.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, cool, Disney has Planet of the Apes now.
Yay.
But the big one is X-Men, and I just don't think Disney needs to own X-Men. I think Fox, they're doing unique things with it.
Yeah, I would agree.
Unless they literally just want to sell everything.
Which, if they do, that's all fine and good. I sort of want to see that happen. I know that a lot of people are saying, like, it shouldn't happen for the sake of diversity and for the sake of Disney not owning every single thing in the world.
Yeah.
But part of me just wants to see this evil corporation take over because it's very cinematic. And I'm not even lying.
It's like
that's totally my curiosity about what would happen.
It's like the rise of the Third Reich.
It honestly, I mean, you know Disney, but I think that you mentioned to me the one big thing that they would really definitely do if they got the assets from 20th Century Fox. Disney would. They would release the theatrical cuts of Star Wars, the original trilogy.
Yes, I think that's I think that's what Disney actually needs. Disney needs those rights.
See, I don't think that they need them.
Really? Why not?
No, I don't think
you don't want those being released?
I mean, I want them being released, but right now we already have the piratable, what is it?
The Phantom Edit thing?
The despecialized versions. Not the Phantom Edit, but the despecialized. Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want some, like, painstakingly, like, edited, like, fan project. I want the fucking product, and I want it in a nice little collector's case so I can put it on my shelf, the rest of my Blu-rays, and go, there they are.
Well, fair
The
enough.
original
I think
Star Wars.
But saying that Disney needs it, I don't think they need anything.
Okay,
I think they want it very badly.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
The fans need it.
Yeah, the fans do need it. Disney passively wants it. They're not going to buy all of 20th Century Fox just to get the distribution rights for the original trilogy of Star Wars. They're not going to do that. It's just not worth it to them, I don't think. I think that Disney wants it so that they have the rights. Like, they can say, all right, we totally own Star Wars right now. Like, we absolutely own every aspect of this. I think that might be part of Disney's little selfish thing.
Because Disney has not released the original, not the original cut, but just the original trilogy. That's all still under 20th Century Fox.
Yeah, and
Disney technically doesn't really, like, have those in a way. They don't have
they
they
don't
have the home video release rights.
Yeah. It's very interesting that they don't. The X-Men is obviously a big thing. I think that more people are looking forward to a Disney Fantastic Four just because it hasn't been done well at all.
Yeah.
And I think that
they got good villains, Doom and Galactus.
Yeah, and Marvel Studios would do well with those, I think. I think that they do a serviceable job with them, and the fans really do want that.
I think the Fantastic Four would really fit with the MCU as far as like seeing things like the Guardians and the Avengers. They could do it fine. Do we need it? No. Do we want it? Kinda, not really. Maybe out of like morbid curiosity just to see a decent version of Fantastic Four.
I think that Fox, I don't think that they need the Fantastic Four, Disney. Like, Disney doesn't need them. They don't need the Fantastic Four. They need the villains that Fox has.
Yeah,
Doom, Magneto, Galactus, Kang the Conqueror. Like, there are a lot of very cool things.
Is Kang that, like, massive head thing?
No, that's MODOK. And I think that...
Are we ever going to see MODOK?
I think that Marvel already owns MODOK. He's an Iron Man villain, technically.
Oh. But he's not... They're going to make MODOK, but he's not going to look like that. There's no way. That's way too strange.
I can see it in this Phase 4 thing that they're going to try to do, because they're going to try to make it even weirder and even more cosmic and strange.
Is MODOK cosmic?
He's not technically, but with the cosmic thing, you can do weirder stuff at home, and I think that could be a thing. But they're likely going to phase Iron Man out.
Well, holy shit. We brought up Avatar before. Avatar is about to have its own theme park at Disney World.
Yeah, it is. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? So Avatar is under 20th Century Fox?
Yes.
How interesting that they have a theme park then at Disney. That's strange.
I think it's like a licensing thing. I mean, I don't know anything about business, but you can license out assets and IPs, intellectual properties.
And I suppose that Fox doesn't have any... They don't have a theme park, so that would make sense that they would license that.
The exact comparison I'm going to make is Harry Potter World at Universal. It doesn't make the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, it's a Warner Brothers thing, yeah.
That's an example where it's like, hey, let's license out and make like a theme park.
Yeah. Isn't Six Flags is more Warner Brothers oriented than anything is, really?
I believe it is.
Yeah, because they have Bugs Bunny and, those things.
My grandparents literally lived right next to a Six Flags.
Six Flags is kind of...
It's like old-fashioned amusement park. Like, fast roller coasters. No real, like, spectacle. Just, you go on these rides, you eat some fast food.
Yeah, it's pretty much your classic idea of what a theme park is.
Which they're kind of changing into more, like, spectacles. Like, wow, like, look at all these shops and buildings and... Kind of like Epcot, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
Because I don't like roller coasters.
I'm growing to the point... I had to take some Dramamine before I went on the fair rides this last time. Yeah, we took some.
Did you
some
go to
non-drowsy stuff. Yeah, we went to the fair. I actually had the most fun I've ever had at this last time because I wasn't worried about the money or anything. Like, I kind of went in there with a good pocket full of cash and was like, you know what? We're just gonna do whatever. And like, I was with Alex and her friend Roxanne, who is from California, and I bought their tickets, and then Alex bought me food, and everybody bought food, and it was a good time. And we just didn't really worry about the money. We were like, we're gonna have a good time, and I think that that's the best way to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Just roller coasters, even when I was little, they made me really anxious.
Fair enough.
And
I got a
now-
little off topic there. I'm sorry. Yeah, roller coasters are...
Now as an adult, it's like, wow, that is so not appealing anymore. Getting in this like metal cart and just like being like raced like around, you know?
You know, when you say it like that, it's quite silly sounding.
Yeah.
The idea of it.
But it's funny because I will get on a Ferris wheel, which I think is what people are generally afraid of the most. I feel like people are afraid of heights.
Fair, yeah, I
You
guess
know?
so.
I've heard like people just being like, "Oh, can't get on the Ferris wheel," but they might get on like a smaller roller coaster that races around real quick and drops you.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a loop de loop.
Yeah, the Ferris wheel, I would say, is the least threatening
Oh,
roller coaster
definitely.
type of roller coaster. I would say
just
anyway.
there for the view.
Yeah, and it's fun, you know? It's cool to go on a Ferris wheel.
I don't know what it is, but dude, like looking down fucking freaks me out now. Like over like a railing, even if it's not even that high off the ground.
That's always kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah,
I remember
It's
going...
like, it's like James Stewart in Vertigo. Like I kind of understand that because I went to Destin a few months ago.
Yeah.
And we went to like the top of this massive hotel, and like I just looked over, and we were probably like, you know, several hundred feet up in the air, and I was just like, oh my god. I was like, we got to get out of here. I was like, I don't think I like being up here.
You were on the roof?
Yeah, like we were really high up. I
Dang,
probably sent you
yeah.
like some snaps.
I think you did.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I sent one to Raphael, and he was like, "Damn, dude, where are you?"
Yeah, heights are always a freaky thing. I remember there was a field trip to St. Augustine that we would take. Like if you were in the 4th grade or whatever, and that was the 4th grade trip. That was
Yeah,
a big thing.
we did that too.
Yeah, yeah.
I had like the flu when we
Oh,
went. Yeah,
damn.
I remember I was running a fever, but I like begged my mom to let me go, and I did, and I was just like miserable the whole
Oh
time.
my god.
And then to get off topic, I came home, and then I just like passed out, and I woke up, and I was like, shouldn't I be at school?
That's funny.
Yeah.
I've had a similar experience there where you pass out the night before,
After
and then
a
I
long
wake
field
up and
trip.
like it's like a day later, and your mom's just like, I didn't let you go to school today.
yeah,
Because I thought you were dead.
yeah.
But the St. Augustine trip, we went to the top of the lighthouse, and looking over the edge, that I was gripping the railing of it for dear life.
It's like primal fear.
It is-
to be
it
afraid of
is.
heights and like
Yeah.
looking over a ledge that you can like climb over. It's intense, and like you really get like that perception of like depth, you know, where you're
Yeah.
like, "Fuck, I'm high up."
Yeah, it's very scary for sure.
Back when Ernest Hunter and Giroux lived in this like plaza apartment on
Mhm.
like the 5th floor or something, they just had this tiny, tiny balcony space. I'd get out on that and be like, "God damn, this is
Dang.
intense."
Yeah,
I'll
that's
get,
scary.
I'll get on a plane though. I won't enjoy it.
I mean, planes kind of different for whatever reason. It's different.
Yeah, because you're secure.
Yeah, you're safe. You're sitting down, and you can't get out of it really.
No, the likelihood of your plane crashing on like an American airliner is like extremely like low.
Yeah, you might want to knock on wood.
It'll never happen on an American airliner. You never hear about it.
It's
When's
true.
last
You
time-
really don't.
When's the last time you heard like, yeah, everyone died on that Delta plane?
I don't know what happened to that Malaysian Airlines thing a while ago. It like disappeared. Did they ever find the plane for that?
What?
Let's.
It probably got.
Do you remember that?
Kinda. It probably got trapped in like the Bermuda Triangle or something.
Probably. Malaysian
Wow, we got way off topic.
airline crash.
Anyways,
I don't think they ever found that thing, man. That's kind of crazy.
if you want to wrap up a few thoughts, Disney, I think they should buy a few things here and there from 20th Century Fox, not the entire thing, if they do. Because I think 20th Century Fox would be pretty stupid to give over X-Men, considering 20th Century Fox can do what they want. They are not bounded by family-friendly entertainment.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that Disney doesn't have. Disney can experiment. People like to think that they can't, but they can, but only within their own borders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They can take chances.
I'm reading this article. This plane that crashed in like March 8th, 2014. And with 239 people aboard. They still have not found this thing. Like isn't that crazy?
Did it go through like a warp? like a wormhole or something?
Dude,
That's really the only explanation.
I don't know. They think they found it, but like they had a deep sea sonar scan of 46,000 square miles of ocean floor southwest of Australia, and they failed to find any trace of it.
That's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
what, did it just like sink incredibly quick to like the bottom fucking like crevice of like the Earth?
They found like a wing from the same model plane that drifted ashore. They're finding things that where the airliner likely crashed, but they haven't like found it. Like that's the Earth's not that big, you know? Like that's just mind-boggling to me. Like
a Malaysian airline?
Yeah, it's like Malaysian Airlines flight 3H
Atlanta
M38
Oceanic flight.
Oceanic Flight 815.
I mean, hey man, they didn't find Amelia Earhart's plane either.
Yeah, you're right. It's just, dude,
some Bermuda Triangle like hit some like sound barrier, time warp. That's what it is. I know it sounds like science fiction, but if you can't find a plane, some like Donnie Darko shit.
Yeah, I mean,
straight up.
Honestly, yeah, like
that's really weird.
It is
Unless
really
it's
weird.
Some sort of like conspiracy cover up.
Yeah, I mean the things are big, you know, like planes are big.
Massive.
Yeah, it's hard to you can't really fit one in a house, you know, it's about like losing a house.
Do you think it is some sort of cover up?
I mean, it could be, I guess. I don't really know. There's plenty of conspiracy theory podcasts out there that they could listen to, but I don't know. I don't really think I provide ample analysis of this event.
No.
I think it's just weird and like it's kind of crazy, like without conspiracy theories or anything factoring in, it's just wild that we could lose a thing like that on the Earth.
It's a little creepy.
It is a little. It's very unnerving. Very, very unnerving. It is creepy. I don't know, and it has really nothing to do with America either. It's like it has to do with Australia because it's very close to Australia, and it has to do with Malaysia and China somehow. I read in the article China's involved as well. I don't know. It's weird.
It is freaking weird. That's why you shouldn't get on planes and just drive.
Yep. You know what else is weird? This new trilogy of Star Wars films.
Damn, was that
that's gonna happen?
That segue.
That was a great segue.
Best segue ever. I think this new trilogy.
Well,
is
let's explain what it is first.
Okay.
So Disney has confirmed, Star Wars, Disney, whatever, has confirmed that after this new trilogy, so post Episode 9, which hasn't even been named yet, The Last Jedi isn't even out. The Last Jedi is directed by Rian Johnson. Episode 9 is set to be directed by J.J. Abrams. So post episode, her, you know,
the boys are coming back to town.
Oh yeah. So this new trilogy of Star Wars films is to be headed by Rian Johnson. I guess he's gonna direct at least one of them.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if he does all three, but maybe.
Me too. I imagine he's gonna he's gonna produce all of them and write them.
Yeah. The major speculation, which is a rumor that pretty much everyone seems to be cool and agree upon, is that it's going to take place during probably the Old Republic.
Yeah, so that is a period of time which in the expanded universe is thousands of years, like 1,000 years before the Phantom Menace or the Skywalker lineage.
Yeah.
And it is confirmed that the trilogy will have nothing to do with the Skywalkers at all. No connection.
I don't know much about the Old Republic, but it's very beloved by the fans of the expanded universe, and it has like a rich lore. There's a really popular Star Wars RPG video game, Knights of the Old Republic, that a lot of people are really fond of. That's on Xbox. I think it's a good idea, but like, how soon after this trilogy are we going to get it?
I will assume that it's going to be as soon as these anthology films are wrapped up.
Yeah, because
they're going to do this Obi-Wan film after Episode 9, I assume.
And that's going to be like that trilogy of the standalone.
Yep, the standalone's going to be done. Episode 9 is going to be wrapped up. They're still planning this trilogy with the new characters like Rey and Finn and Poe. Like, what all is going to happen to them?
Give it some time with them. You do this trilogy, then that trilogy comes out afterwards. You have like a 10-year time gap,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8-year time gap.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have at that point we'll have a sequel trilogy and a prequel trilogy.
Oh my
It's gonna be
God.
weird.
To me, this whole like announcement of this trilogy is like backup. It's like insurance, just to like. So people are like, "Oh, where do they go after episode 9?" It's like, "Oh, we already got a new trilogy planned."
Yeah.
It could be cool. Obviously, they really like Rian Johnson and what he's doing with The Last Jedi, so I guess that's pretty positive.
That is good that they have this
guess-
much faith in it.
Yeah, I guess. Hey man, for all we know, The Last Jedi could be the best Star Wars movie ever.
For all we know, it could.
Yeah, it really could. I'm looking at that poster right now, and I'm just kind of like, God, that is really cool.
It's a great poster.
Yeah.
It really is.
So they really like what Rian Johnson did. So yeah.
I think it's good that they are showing this much faith in him. That's a really good thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of announcements like this that are like, here's what's going to happen for the next 10 years.
Yeah, it's like, who cares right now?
Yeah.
It's like, we're like episode 8 hasn't even came out yet.
And it kind of relieves a lot of it removes, not relieves, it removes a lot of the tension that would be there that makes you wanting more. And it sort of removes the incentive to like want more because you know
Yeah.
more's coming.
Because that was the thing, Star Wars, you know, the original trilogy came out, we weren't alive, we don't know what that was like. And then it was just gone for like, what, 17 years? 15 years? 'Cause
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi came out in 83, Phantom Menace 99, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16 years?
Yeah, and that's a crazy gap, and that
Yeah.
would never happen today.
Yeah. And then you have those come out, and then people just kind of assumed that was it for Star Wars after Revenge of the Sith. You rounded them all out, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Even
And
though
then-
George Lucas did have his own plans for it, he had a sequel trilogy, as they're calling it, the trilogy.
All his notes for
Yeah,
the future of Star Wars, but he wasn't
it
going
is.
to make
It
any
is
of them.
semi-similar to what happened in The Force Awakens. It's got its female protagonist and a male counterpart who's fun and witty, very Han Solo-esque.
Yeah.
Which is, I think they kind of split that character into two with Finn and Poe.
Han dissected into 2 vessels.
It sort of is.
Double
'cause
the Han.
You've got Poe and his charisma, and you've got Finn and his kind of funny and
His, like,
you know.
coolness.
Yeah,
'Cause
I wouldn't
Finn-
say Finn's cool.
no,
He's just
Poe,
kind of so
Poe, that's what I
likable,
meant.
and like Finn's just kind of so. I mean, Poe's very likable also, but Finn's just sort of like this. He's just a lovable goofball kind of character who cares.
Kind of a coward at first, but then, triumphs with bravery
Yeah,
in the end. Even though he gets, like, knocked out, he still tried.
yeah, and like he went for it. He really tried to beat that basically Sith Lord.
Yeah.
And he kind of gave it a go, too.
He
Gave it a
did.
good run, I don't know. I'm interested in this new sequel trilogy. Obviously, I am. I'm a Star Wars fan. But we'll see how I feel after 2 more of these things. Well, I guess 4 more of these
Oh,
things.
God.
Jeez,
Solo,
'cause this-
Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
The Last Jedi. What's episode 9 going to be called? Give us a hint, Lucasfilm.
I don't know what it's going to be called. When was the Last Jedi titled? Earlier this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was after Rogue One had been released.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And
Because I remember The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi being a thing.
yeah.
It
was early this year. This is funny because I made a Blu-ray collection video in January. And
Yeah.
in that video, when I go over The Force Awakens, I mention The Last Jedi.
Oh, that's fun.
So since January, since the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fun. I don't know. We'll
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's boy. It's about to be super overexposed. It
Yeah.
already is, but Jesus, it's gonna get saturated, man.
Trilogies on trilogies on trilogies.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the Disney thing, though. It's sort of like we're just gonna keep making these things for forever.
Like groups of movies.
Yeah,
Not just like one and being like, oh, maybe we'll continue with it. But no, it's like a fact. As long
And
as they
they're-
got some lightsabers, some AT-ATs, and, Princess Leia's, then I'm fine with that. That's
Is that your
average
country accent?
Yeah.
I think that
Well,
that
they
was
got
your
some-
average Star Wars fan.
Yeah, man. They
That
got
was-
some Yoders and Kylo Rens. Fuck it. Keep making them.
Oh boy. Now, who do you think Supreme Leader Snoke really is?
I think he's fucking Plagueis, dude.
I think he's Plagueis. You know, from that expanded universe comic book. You read that one? No, man. Have you read Vader Down #3 yet? No, man.
Dude,
I haven't.
that's the Old Republic. That game was the fucking tits. So if they make a trilogy based on that game, it's gonna be pretty fucking cool.
Man, where's my Force Unleashed movie? Where's my... Where... God, doing like a Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton impression.
No, where's my...
As long as they got
You
some
know.
fucking Chewbacca in there, then I'm sold.
I just need my Han and Chewie, you know? Oh, God. I think that we should be done talking about Star Wars.
Forever until we have our big Last Jedi extravaganza. Next week on the podcast, maybe Justice League review. I don't know if I'm going to see it. I have Sunday off, so I should go see
Do you
it.
want to go see it on Thursday?
I work.
God damn it.
Yeah.
What time do you work till?
It's nighttime. Let me check.
Well, we can always catch a midnight premiere if you'd like.
Yeah,
So we
that
can
is- that
review
is
it.
true.
Yeah.
I do want to be able to review it.
Yeah, I would like to be able to too. The word is that it's okay.
Yeah, that has been the reactions. People say it's like they're saying that the cast is really good in it, and the plot's
Yeah.
just kind of like meh. It's just like
Which I can say that I really actually see that. Like I can, because they do look like they have great chemistry. But you know, it's just another world-ending villain, and we've seen it. You know, I don't know. I think that the cast will be a fun thing, and maybe it'll be something. At best, it provides us with a good view moving forward what this universe can look like.
fair.
You know, because, like, I think that thus far it's been pretty bleak, but I'm hearing it's funny, and I'm hearing that it's a fun time. And, like, honestly, BVS was neither one of those things. So,
BVS was dismal and convoluted and choppy.
yeah, and there was one moment of levity in the entire film.
She with you?
No, I wouldn't even say that's levity, because, like,
Save Martha.
No, not quite that scene. That scene got a few laughs, but for the wrong reasons.
Because it was so lame.
Yeah.
Like the audience during the premiere, save Martha. Zack Snyder is like, what? Why are they laughing?
He's just
It's like
"Oh,
studio.
man."
It's like a sitcom, like studio laughter.
He said they don't get it. He just said, you guys just don't understand my dark masterpiece.
Also, I late close, so.
Oh,
that's
geez, yeah, you're going to be
another-
there for a minute.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll
close at
s-
11. Or you
Yeah.
close at 10 on Thursday, right?
We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to rush it.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't want to be like, we're gonna be like, all right, I gotta get everything done. I gotta go see the shitty Justice League movie. I'm freaking out.
Fair enough. I'll why don't we check on, we could go see it Monday. Before that, we could just do a before and after.
Oh, kind of like Blade Runner.
Yeah, even though I don't really have that much to say about it, but whatever. We can do half the we can
Alright,
do half
so-
the podcast, go see it, and then review
All
the
right,
other half.
so at the very least, we will be reviewing Justice League on the next podcast.
Yep, we'll have the review to you guys. We promise. It'll be great. It'll
a fun time.
probably be fine. Yeah.
All right, Jacob. I think that about wraps up this fascinating episode of the Snyder-Collin Podcast.
I think so too. I really enjoyed having Garren on as a guest.
Yeah, I did
That
too.
was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. He should be a regular.
He's an intelligent man.
He is, and I enjoyed his banter. He really I think he added something to the podcast this week that
Yeah,
it's
it was
fun. It's
we
fun.
were just like talking about some hip hop for
Yeah.
a good bit, which
Yeah.
we normally don't talk about. Well, we talk about music every now and then.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and Garren is addicted to pornography.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's why he left.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is why. No, not really. He actually genuinely did have responsibility. What is this? He left this.
Is it his nose ring?
No, it's not. It's
It fell
this
out.
for some reason. I think he was tinkering with it. All right. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and do some plugs and stuff and go ahead and wrap this baby up.
Hooray, butt plugs, as I like to call them.
That's a good title, butt plugs. Time for our butt plugs segment, everybody.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you can find Collin at
Collin_Goody on Twitter.
Yes.
I have 14 followers. Jacob, you have like 10,000.
I have 1,200.
God damn,
It's not
I
that
have
many.
14.
Some people have 100,000.
I want
and I have
followers.
1/100th of that.
Oh, so one thing I want to plug.
Yeah,
besides my Twitter,
Yeah, for sure.
Collin_Goody. We have 2 new likes on our Facebook page.
Okay, all right.
I can literally bring their names up because being an admin, you probably, oh, whoops, I lost internet connection.
Actually, I do have it listed, but I don't have it to where it notifies me. So I don't really get the notifications or anything. And I haven't looked. I get the notifications if anybody comments or anything or posts anything. So, I'll know then. But
look, I have this. Do you get this?
I think so.
Yeah, look, so I can just say their names. Do you know them?
Let's see. I don't read them. Read the names. Well, okay.
Those are just friends. All right. Well, anyways, we have 2 new likes, so thank you, Grace Carr.
Oh, thank you. I
And-
went to school with her.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thanks for giving the Facebook page a like. And Alex Wrong.
Oh my gosh, I went to school with him as well. That's
There-
awesome.
there you
I
go.
just invited a bunch of people to the podcast that were on my friends list, so that's awesome. I would know those both of those people being that they are on my friends list. That makes a lot of sense.
All right,
But
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
because you're
fine.
like looking at these little circles and you're like, I have no clue what that is.
yeah, and being that I don't really pay attention, if I'm honest,
Jacob?
that's an issue. What's up?
Where can we follow you at?
Oh,
on
well,
social media.
you can follow me at Jacob's Wetsuit. That's one word, Jacob's Wetsuit, on Instagram, Twitter, and that's it. You can find me on Facebook, Jacob Snyder. You can email the show at flyingpotatoprod. That's prod as in prod at gmail.com.
Cattle prod.
Yeah, like cattle prod. It stands for productions. You can find us on YouTube as well at Flying Potato Productions. That's where our podcast is located on the YouTube. You can find us now at iTunes, Google Play, Libsyn, Stitcher, and TuneIn.
Yeah.
We are so with the times, it's not even funny.
We're spreading like a virus.
We're spreading like the
Shadow monster.
Shadow Monster and Stranger Things Season 2. Good Lord, we're everywhere. Where else can we be found? You can find us on Facebook at the Snyder-Collin Podcast, and you can give us a like. You can comment if you'd like.
You can send us fan mail.
Yeah, you can send us fan mail if you want. You can send us hate mail if you want. I don't give a fuck. I'll take any kind of mail.
And send us questions, tweet us questions. We'll answer it right on the pod.
Exactly. We'd love to do that for you guys. We'd love to talk to you guys so much. We'd just love to mention you and talk to you and name your names.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. I think a friend of mine, Sydney Lasasowitz, also liked the Facebook page. Yeah, so that's cool. That's cool. Went to school with her as well. Good stuff.
Well, everyone,
Quick shout out there.
shout out.
Who else do I have to shout out? Chase Bohannon. He asked me.
Yeah,
I
I thought he wanted to be on the podcast.
Yeah, we really need to have him on. Garren was kind of a last minute thing, Chase. We weren't really planning that at all. I was getting coffee with him today, and he was like, "Can I be on?" And I was like, "I mean, I guess we're doing it today, so we might as well." Who else do we need to have on, man? Zeke needs to come back on.
We need
I was talking to him recently.
hmm.
Zeke actually proposed an idea for me. Not for me, but like
He
he
proposed,
proposed
to
an idea. He did propose to me, and I said yes. Of course I
you?
did.
Oh, you're getting married.
Yeah, I am.
What was
Um,
Zeke's idea?
He said, well, he did a Twitter poll recently. I liked it, I think. I didn't retweet it. I retweeted a different one of his.
I'm wondering if I saw this. I think I follow
It's,
him on Twitter.
Even if you didn't, it's okay. I'm going to tell you anyway. For the listener. Really. I'm really telling the listener, but pretending to tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He proposed a film, a biopic, about Einstein, played by Christoph Waltz. Would you be willing to see that? Because I think
did
that's
see it.
great. I think that's great fan casting. because I think that Christoph Waltz is great for Einstein.
Yeah.
He has the German accent down, that Austrian German accent. He can warp it into a German.
Crazy white hair on him, and there you go.
That'd be a lot of fun to see, because Christoph, he's just such a cool actor and a character actor for sure. I think that he'd be perfect for that.
What if Christoph Waltz plays Charles Manson in this Tarantino biopic? If it even is a biopic, because
it's Tarantino, so you never know what he's gonna do, really, do you?
Could he play Charles Manson?
I suppose he could, yeah. Yeah, he could.
You know what? I'm gonna stand by that. That's who's gonna get cast.
Samuel L. Jackson is Charles Manson.
It's going to be a blaxploitation film about Charles Manson and his family.
Yeah. What's another actor that he might cast in that role?
Tom Cruise?
Tarantino wouldn't do that.
Tom Cruise would suck.
I'm trying to think of Tarantino actors. Channing Tatum. He's in The Hateful Eight.
He was. I can't see
Channing I think he was in that as a joke.
It's like a...
Let's put him in there.
Cameo,
yeah, let's put him in there and have his head blown off. And boy, does it get blown off. It does. Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell from the set of Hateful Eight, so he looks exactly like he does in Hateful Eight.
Oh, the mustache.
Yeah.
I actually watched a little bit of The Thing last night.
Really? The remake or the original?
The John Carpenter version with Kurt Russell.
Nice.
When you were saying the original or remake, that's kind of funny because it's like, were you referring to the Carpenter version and then the Howard Hawks 50s version, or were you referring to the 2012 prequel remake reboot that everyone's kind of forgotten about?
Yeah. Damn, they did do a 2012 one, didn't they?
I actually saw that before the Carpenter version.
I haven't seen it. Is it okay?
It is, but the CGI is kind
shitty.
of because the Carpenter version, it's legendary for its practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
And then for this 2012 version, they did use practical effects, but they CG'd over it, and it looks terrible.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, I think that's a thing that's becoming more popular and useful. CGIing over practical effects, but it's used in a wise way.
Yeah, for the Thing 2012 version, it was not.
And,
it actually had Mary Louise Winstead. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in it.
Yeah. She's beautiful.
She is.
Yeah. She's in Scott Pilgrim as well.
And 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, she was. She was the star of that film, wasn't she? That's
yeah.
cool. That's fun. I think that Marvel's really good about using practical effects to give a basis for CGI. Basically, like Black Panther's costume is CGI.
Really?
Because they have him in costume on set wearing it. They have him wearing it to know what the shadows and everything look like cast on it, and then they just improve it with CGI. It's like Spider-Man's suit too.
Oh yeah, because his eyes move and all that.
Yeah, and you never have any doubt that Black Panther is really there in the film. So
what? Thor and Captain America, they just show up wearing their costumes and they feel really ridiculous next to everyone who has green padding and stuff on them.
I guess no. I think that there are set pictures from Civil War where you can see the guy wearing the Black Panther suit, and he's really wearing it. He's wearing what it looks like, but it's just not good looking. It's wrinkled and messed up, but in the final version, obviously it doesn't look like that because they enhance it with CGI and movie magic and make it look good. It's because he's wearing it for reference of shadows and things like that.
Yeah.
What it's going to look like, how it reacts, and then they just mimic it.
They can make it look good.
Yeah. They just clean it up. That's all they do.
All right.
Anyway, we'll head out, guys. You guys have a great one. Thanks for listening. We really do appreciate it. Give us a like, shoot us a tweet on the Twitter, comment on one of my Instagram pics if you want. Email the show. Do whatever you want. You get read on the podcast if you like.
Stalk
anything.
us.
Yes, good. Just all around stalk us. I think that'll about do it.
That'll do it.
Yep. All right. Well, have a great one, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah. Thank you for listening.
All right.
Adios.
Yep. Bye. Take it easy, guys.
Cha-ching.